The time for speeches is done. The first great test is here. My order to you all is simple, yet heed it well, and exert yourselves to see it done. They are coming. Kill them all.
Best album Metallica ever had. Oh boy. Welcome. We're back in the saddle again for another. Oh, let's stop bullshitting. Probably about 3 hours. Commander Kylo Ren, the Command Center, Southern Command Center, Las Vegas, Nevada. This is The Rational Male. Got a lot to cover today because authority, responsibility without authority is slavery. Everybody knows it now, even Nick Fuentes. What am I going to do about all these guys like lifting my shit? Right. Even Scott Galloway is lifting my shit now. Can't even believe it. Well, I mean, good on them.
Hey, Rollo. You remove the S. It doesn't let me click it out.
Oh, I have to click it off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it. No problem. You mean this one?
Yep.
There we go. Got it. All right, gentlemen. Here you go. Biblical masculinity. Don't forget, he got in office because of the Manosphere, because of red pill guys saying repeal the 19th. Remember that? I had to see this, and so now you do too. I can't take it anymore.
It's painful.
What happens to a man that fails to perform? Does society empathize or discard him?
I think sadly discard him.
They discard them. That is just the harsh reality of the world, right? So I think as a man, it's really just perform or not. And yeah, if you're not performing, if you're not providing, doing X, Y, and Z, you're going to be discarded. So if you want to be a winner, if you want to have a girlfriend, X, Y, and Z, you got to perform.
So how does the pressure to perform affect men's mental health or identity?
Probably in a very negative way. I'll be honest, probably in a very negative way. However, it's just like you're a man. It's like put up with it, learn, grow, become better, or fail.
Yeah, it's very significant, and I think the vast majority of depression cases are based on that.
Well, I know men have the highest rate of suicide. So I know there's like a lot of pressure on men to perform correctly.
Got it. Good. Great.
From a 6 to an 8 in her mind. It's manipulative as hell, but you guys like my manipulative takes anyway. I did this to me, and it actually worked. I'm ashamed to tell you. So, if a girl tells you that she's not interested in you, right? Or that she doesn't like you, that's when you introduce another girl. You say, oh yeah, that's fine. I actually didn't think we were a good match anyways. I actually like this other girl. This girl can either be really similar to her or the total opposite from her. Basically, she's gonna wonder why, oh, what's wrong with me? Why don't you like me? It kind of just makes her think almost like she has to prove something to you. Not quite, but almost, right? I'm a good catch too. God. But listen, this is the really important part not to forget. If she has told you she likes you, don't play this game. don't play this game. Shoot, you will drive her away. This is only if she's told you she doesn't like you, because what else is she gonna do, not like you more? My name is Demo, and I'll put you on game that no one else is gonna tell you. Link in bio to schedule a one-on-one call.
Hey, you ready to take game advice from this chick?
He doesn't want a second date?
No.
He's balding. How fucking dare he?
Dating is a risk. You took a risk. It's brave.
Why did you set me up with someone like that?
He checked a lot of our boxes. And you checked a lot of his. So onwards and upwards. Let's talk about your next match. I have an amazing guy for you. His name is Mark. He's a doctor. He's very handsome. He has a full head of hair. He's 48.
That's almost 50.
He looks great for 48. He's very...
By the way, this is the same woman, okay? This is her ego and her id having this discussion.
fit. He looks like he's 40.
How tall?
5'11".
Is he actually 5'11", or is he actually 5'9" and is lying?
What's a couple inches?
I don't want to waste my time. I am not asking for a miracle. I'm just asking for the bare minimum. I'm trying to settle.
Sophie, I know how it feels right now. But I promise you, you're going to marry the love of your life.
I don't believe you.
That's okay. I believe it.
Work all for that, but like,
okay, wait, let me give you I got to give you the layup here. This is Akash Singh's wife, by the way. Let me backtrack this one up. This was too good not to include today. This is Akash Singh. If you know who Akash is, I think he's a comedian too, right? Yeah. He's the Indian comedian that's on Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz, who, by the way, was giving so much grief to Fresh and Fit. Not just like 2-3 years ago. And here she is now.
if you want to work, all for that. But like any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his account, that's a fucking red flag. His money is our money and my money is my money. I know so many girls in my life personally that have been with guys that weren't transparent about money, and they ended up being terrible in other aspects, and like people ended up breaking up in divorces. So that is actually my number one. They must be generous with their finances from day one. That means paying for the first date and everything. I know that it's rough out there, inflation. Like, I'm not saying to just like waste it on every single girl, but if a girl is special, you should be courting her properly.
And I'm probably going to get eaten alive for saying this. I feel like a lot of women have forgotten their place. And we live in this inverted world, and I feel we got stuck in this whole feminism thing. Feminism is a scam. And now it's like trying to undo. It is feminism. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, we are equal in value, but we are not equal in traits. We are different. Men and women are different.
I agree with that.
And I'm so sick and tired of why are we fighting?
But it's so misogynist when me or Andrew Tate or something says exactly the same thing.
To be something that we're not. I am not a man. I will never be a man. And for those of you that make that decision, I love that for you. Period. But there are certain things that are just, y'all are stronger than we are. We are more detail oriented than you are. There are certain traits that we naturally got from God based on the gender that we are. And
if women were more detail oriented than guys, would they have so many like unplanned pregnancies?
It's all based on survival. It's all based on human nature. And so I feel like a lot of women, not all women, but most women have forgotten their place.
Within themselves,
within the order of family, within the order, even like with God. You know, if you just want to start blanketing statements like, now this is the thing. If you are a masculine woman, that's fine. But stop acting like you're feminine. If you want to be a boss, babe, I don't need no man. You go do you, boo. But stop teaching that that's the answer. Because I'm sick and tired of this divide of the family. I'm sick and tired of now good men, I'm listening to like stories, right? Good men are getting lazy in dating. They're getting lazy in the pursuit because women are making either everything too easy or they're too hands off. So now what's the point in even trying to date a woman when you're the man that you want me to be?
All right, here we go. This is the rip-off section of the intro videos today.
Do men and women socialize differently?
Yeah, that's one of the differences, is that men tend to socialize through an activity of one kind or another, right?
I'm sorry, what? What? Sounds like something those red pill guys. Where have I heard this before?
Men tend to socialize somewhat more shoulder to shoulder, is how the social scientists put it, as opposed to face to face.
Oh, I'm a social scientist now.
So whether that's fishing or hiking or
all the cool things that you can do and reignite. Imagine that.
Sport, they need those spaces where men can kind of hang out. Women seem to be a little bit better at just doing face to face, meeting up just
a little bit better. No, that's the only thing they do.
to talk to each other. Men tend to need some sort of structure. And so what that means is that if those structures fall away, then that makes it just a little bit harder for men.
Richard, on your website, your group's website, you write that broad measures such as overall loneliness, satisfaction with emotional support, and the number of close friends, men and women, look pretty similar. Take away the gender differences. Is this a societal problem?
There are some differences. Men are more likely to be socially isolated than women, and some studies find this friendship gap. But there's really a huge class gap as well. I think it's worth mentioning that it is really men and women from lower income backgrounds that are kind of struggling the most, actually, with these social connections. But I think there's just a broader question of isolation, disconnection. It's easier to stay at home now. And so whilst I really applaud this move in my own life to try and definitely be more open about expressing love and physical affection for male friends, we should also be very careful not to end up treating men as if actually we can't have some differences in the way that male friendships work. There are differences.
Okay, men and women make friends much differently. All right, so let's just start with that. Number 2, emotionality. Okay, men process emotions differently than women. It's a biological, physiological fact. It's not cultural. It's not, oh, they're so isolated. No, we have different hardware.
In the dynamics of male and female friendships, and that's okay. One of the things that really seems to bring men together is when they're doing things for other people, and voluntary organizations all over the US are desperately short of male volunteers. So maybe one of the ways we can connect with each other is by doing things for others.
Hey, maybe you should so I don't know, start a group called Reignite and have all these guys come together and do cool shit together and learn and be better men as a result of that. I don't know. That sounds like something those red pill guys might think of.
Responsibility without authority is slavery. So when we say, oh, men need to man up, men need to take responsibility, men need to be there, we need more fathers in the household, we need guys to man up, when for the last 4 generations we've been telling men to man down. So when we talk about how men need to.
Who is this sexy looking red pill dude, man? Oh, he's really speaking some real truth.
Take more responsibility. That's really tough when men don't have the authority, or they don't presume to have the authority to affect that responsibility in the first place. So that, I think, is a conversation that really needs to be had, because we can talk about how men have become manginas or soy boys or have been feminized over the course of, like I said, four generations now. But what we've done is systematically remove the authority or even the presumption.
Yep. All right, next one, Project.
Alethea.
Yep.
$9.99. Responsibility without authority is slavery.
Correct.
Responsibility without authority is slavery. Amen. We are blessed to have brothers. Thank you for the support and the kind comment.
Well said.
Right. Well, that's the ingredient that's missing. The way I would put it very succinctly is men right now are the responsible party, but have no authority. And that doesn't work.
I'm sorry, what? Excuse me?
Work.
No, it doesn't.
If you are held, if the buck stops with you and you're to blame and you're the responsible one, then you also need to be able to have the final say and call the shots. And one without the other doesn't work. And I think I
think that's really smart and absolutely right.
God, where have we heard this before? This is strange.
Women hate male control but still expect male responsibility because they were taught that responsibility and authority and control should be separate. But in the real world, they come as a package. What do you mean? You can't hold someone accountable for something they have no control over. If I'm responsible for your safety, how can I protect what I can't influence? That sounds like an excuse to control people. It's structure. A parent has authority over their child because they're responsible for them. A teacher guides students because they're entrusted with their growth. A ship captain has final say because they're responsible if the ship sinks. Same with a man in a relationship. If he's held responsible for the home, he needs the authority to lead it. So you're saying it's okay for a man to control a woman. Everyone controls you. Your boss controls your time. Your phone controls your attention. Even your therapist influences your thoughts. The difference isn't if you're being influenced, it's why and how. So what's the difference between good and bad control? A bad man controls for himself. A good man controls the environment to protect both of you, to protect the peace, to uphold shared values, to stop the relationship from sinking. But why should the man lead? Because someone has to. Structure needs direction. And nature designed man for external responsibility. So women are just supposed to submit? Submission isn't weakness, not when it's a choice. A woman submits to a good man because she trusts his logic, values his sacrifice, and believes in his steadiness. That's not oppression, that's wisdom. You can't have leadership without trust, and you can't have trust without character. Why do men even have more responsibility? Not because they're better, but because they're built for it. Higher testosterone means more strength, risk-taking, and system building. Higher oxytocin in women means deeper empathy, bonding, and emotional attunement. Men tend to solve structural problems. Women tend to solve emotional ones. It's not limitation, it's design. That's
all right, that's enough of that. Here you go. Last one.
Who's in there, asshole? Who is in there?
No, I'm not opening it. Oh my. Babe, you're gonna ruin the Open the door. No! Open the fucking door. Oh my.
Oh, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Nobody.
Who's coming to my house?
Nobody's coming, baby.
Anthony, who's coming to my house?
Anna, nobody's coming. It was
You
just a
just
prank.
texted me.
Babe.
Who is coming to my house?
Oh, fuck. What? Bro, no one's here. I didn't mean to send that. Bro, I didn't mean to send that, Aaliyah.
Yeah, you didn't. Who's coming over? They're gonna meet me at the door right
No.
here. Are you stupid?
What?
Are you stupid?
What?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
I'm-
You wanna tell me something?
I don't wanna-
You wanna tell me something?
He's busy right
It's a
now.
joke.
Ryan, who sent me the text message?
It's a joke.
Tell me now or I'm gonna bash your nuts in. So who's coming over?
No.
Do you wanna explain yourself?
No.
So who's coming over? You know, don't worry about it. Tell that bitch to catch me outside. Who's coming over?
Babe, no one's coming over.
Someone's clearly coming over because you
Hey, it's
literally
a
just
joke.
texted me.
No.
I know you didn't need to text me, but you did.
Babe, it's a joke.
Imagine having to explain that to That's how you know your bitch is into you.
Yeah. She willing to
Who is
beat
this
it.
bitch?
Tell that bitch to be cool.
I love that one. That was so who fucking sent me that? That was a really good one. And I have some more that I want to kind of cover today. I don't feel like this isn't a reaction channel per se, but it's like sometimes I have to react to stuff like that. But I kind of want to get into that a little bit. Oh, you like the Jake Monroe shirt today? Yes, I got my new Jake Monroe shirt. Day before yesterday. Jake Monroe on tour right now. I think he's in Orlando, Florida right now is where last I looked, but Jake should be coming up pretty soon. I think we'll have him in January. I'll have him on my show. If I can get him on Access Vegas, I will too. But Jake's coming. He's a good dude. If you don't know who Jake Monroe is, why don't you go follow him right now? MUNRO Monroe. Jake. My favorite goth and yours too. Sorry, Jake. I had to cut the sleeves off. It's kind of like what metal guys do. It's kind of required. This was actually a real t-shirt until about like an hour ago. It's kind of what we have to do, especially here in Vegas. So there we go. So how do you guys like the show so far, huh? We're going to talk about responsibility without authority today. I don't think I've ever dedicated an entire show to this topic. I am going to show you where it comes from because it's not like I know I put myself on that. Well, actually, I didn't. Somebody made that compilation of responsibility without authority. And they used me, of course, as a beginning, as a starting point for it, and they just sort of like went with it. And then recently, I know I saw this on the Tucker Carlson interview with Nick F, who will not be named. And basically using the same lines. And, people say, well, he maybe picked it up from Myron, probably because Myron's used the same thing too. And I thought it was interesting because I have recently heard from some people on sort of these religious podcasts using exactly the same thing, authority and responsibility. Imagine that. How is all this? And I think what's funny is like, everybody was like, oh, that's a mic drop. I'm like, Nick didn't come up with that. And Myron didn't come up with that. And I did not come up with that. Actually, I credit where credit is due always. That was from Turd Flinging Monkey, who we are going to look at his video today. And I'm going to break that down because it reminded me, I just realized that Allie Beth Stuckey was in that video. I'm like, Oh, twofer. So we're gonna break that down a little bit, because a lot of the stuff that TFM got into in that video, like it was a response video to PragerU when PragerU was just sort of a come up back then. This is like, the video is from like 2016, I want to say. And and yes, at some point along the way, and I know Siege is going to ask me, when are you going to do a collab with TFM? Don't save your super chat, okay? I will. I'll do my best to get him on, especially now after Allie Beth Stuckey's been sort of making the rounds. It's funny, as soon as like Charlie Kirk died, it's like everybody's like trying to fill that vacuum. Like even Tucker Carlson tried to do it. He fell flat. He bombed out of that. It's like stand-up comedians. It's like he failed. Then Allie Beth Stuckey's coming around, and then people have been talking about what's her name, Erica Kirk's wife was like hugging on JD Vance in like some leather chaps or some shit like that. And I'm like, well, it's all. I love it when people like throw those things at me, because like women were losing their shit over this fact that she was, and I don't have the picture, but the shots, I'm sure you've already seen them. They were last week, and I think maybe a little bit of the week before, where she's hugging on JD Vance. She's saying, oh, there's a lot of things about JD Vance that remind me of Charlie. And I'm just like, whoa. And I have to remember that when my brother-in-law committed suicide, it wasn't like people say, what was your red pill moment? Well, I don't say that's a red pill moment. Well, I'll tell you what really kind of made me stand up and look around, like maybe I saw the code in the Matrix, was not the reasons and the catalysts and everything that led up to the him ending his life. It was what happened afterwards, and how women who didn't even know who my sister-in-law, they didn't even know who my sister-in-law was, they would instantly take her side. Yep. Right? Because she started dating actually she was seeing the guy. They weren't married then, but she was seeing the guy who is her husband now, has been her husband for a while, who is like a multi-bazillionaire. And I won't tell you exactly. Oh, you can put it up. Okay. Who is that it? Let me see. Oh boy. You guys have seen this. You guys have to have seen this already, right? Let me go grab it. I believe that's it. Yeah. There you go. Damn, man. When are you going to go see Poison tonight? We're going to go see Steel Panther after this. Yeah, man. Whoa. People, and I love how like the women are coming out in her defense, just similar to how all these women came out in defense of my sister-in-law after my brother-in-law had, hung himself, let's be honest. And they didn't even know who she was. Like, well, we all go through mourning our own way. In leather pants, right? Okay. So I was just thinking about the I don't know, prescience, the fortune telling. I'm not a Rollodamus, right? Foreseeing the future, right? And so one of the quotes out of this book, available on Amazon, my very first book. Also Reignite, available on Amazon too. My sixth book. But in this book, there's a quote. One of the quotes is, "She will bring a date to your funeral." And here we have it. I mean, is she literally bringing a date to your funeral? No. But the point I was making in that sort of rhetoric, let's just say, is that women get over guys much faster. And I think what's interesting is, there are some women who will say, well, they'll remember, they have a memorial and they just can't get over that guy. Or doesn't that sort of contradict the alpha widow dynamic? And the point I'm trying to make here is that it's not a contradiction when that guy's level of alpha is high enough for her to mourn over the guy who was the best she could do. Right. So I'm going to go on a limb here and say Charlie Kirk probably wasn't what Erica Kirk thought was the best that she could do. And that's why she's reacting and she's having this response that she's, people are just dumbfounded by what she's doing. And so she's either too holier than thou, or she's wearing leather chaps and hugging on, JD Vance. Okay, whatever. I'm like, at this point, like people like look at me and they throw this at me and they think like I should be like completely like shocked and outraged. It's like, no, It's par for the course. I've seen it since 2003 when my brother-in-law offed himself, right? So it's not surprising to me, but again, it's not so much what her behavior is. Like she's going to do what she's going to do. What you need to do as a red pill educated man is to look at the response that happens afterwards. That's your real red pill. That's your real education right there.
A feature, not a bug.
Yes, watch what the girls do. If you ever need an example of what the sisterhood uber alles is, the sisterhood above all else, that's what I'm talking about. They don't know who she is. They don't have any clue. So they just want to immediately go to that woman's defense. And once again, I also have to bring up the fact that this last week has been a real challenge for me because I'm usually a Twitter guy. Like I'm on Twitter quite a bit. Anybody knows me on Twitter knows that I am not the same person I am on this show. Or even Mike goes, man, you are a different person. Like we're on Access Vegas. Like I am a sweet little angel compared to what I am on Twitter because you have to be. It's like the only thing Twitter's good for is advertising books and shit posting. I mean, that is all it is. And I think people have finally figured out really the function of Twitter, right? And so I'm seeing all these chicks who are ostensibly conservative, trad femme influencers, whatever the hell I don't even know who they are, but they're not small accounts. But they're not like huge accounts. They're sub 50,000. Okay. Some of them are like in the 20s and 30s. I think the largest one I saw was maybe 100, 120 maybe.
Micro influencers.
Yeah, they're not big. I'm at 181 right now on Twitter. And that's from me being on Twitter for ages. But so I'm looking at this and I'm watching all these chicks and what's his name? Mamdi Kozar, whatever his name is. Mamdamni, yeah, the guy who all the guys are clapping for in the beginning. One of the things everybody says, it was like what 86% of the women of the female vote. He got 86% of the female vote. Now he's the mayor of New York City, so it's still within New York City, and they're voting for. It's technically a local. I mean, he's a big deal. It's New York City for fuck's sake, but like. Take it with a grain of salt, like population wise and demographic wise. So what happens is guys are like, oh, well, of course it is. Women have 86% of the female vote. And everybody, like the Democrats want to make it a referendum. Yes, we're coming after those guys. And don't forget, we're coming up on midterm elections next year. We're already in an election cycle, although it's not a presidential election cycle, but 2026 midterm elections once again. And I guarantee you, the hot button topics are going to be abortion. It's going to be like women's rights. It's going to be empowering women because usually the midterm elections focus around forgiving student loan debts. Yeah. Well, who holds what sex? I'm going to channel my inner Aaron Clary. What sex holds the majority of the student loans? Overwhelmingly, $4 trillion, like something like $1 trillion something dollars in student loans. 2/3 of that are held by women. Okay, because women go to college more than men do. Right? That's pretty much a given.
64%.
64%. There you have it. Thank you for looking that up. Troy, try to stay numerically correct in all of this. So yeah, and so I'm looking at this, and what's kind of surprising me is it's not liberal wokesy women coming out of the woodwork, having yay team woman. It's trad femmes. It's traditional conservative feminists, basically what they are. But if you had any doubt as to me, like whenever I say, hey, what conservative women are just basically, hotter feminists. Yeah, I remember I got into so much shit. Yeah. One time I was talking to Jedediah Bila, and I said, well, everyone born after 1965 is essentially a feminist. Myself included, everybody is, right? Because at some point along the way, feminist ideology has been included in your upbringing, whether that's watching Disney movies, whether that's in your schools, in your churches, whatever. Some part of feminist ideology has had a say in how you think about men and women, right? And that's all I was getting at. But then I was also saying that essentially conservative women are just basically covert feminists. And when people throw that bullshit line at me like, oh, well, the red pill's just the flip side of feminism. No, traditional conservatism is the flip side of feminism, because it all ends up at the same train station. Feminism and traditional conservatism, with regard to women, all end up at the empowerment of women. That's where it ends up. And so when you got these women coming out of the woodwork right now, and they are ostensibly conservative influencer voices who are followed by a lot of other people that I know who follow these people, and they're talking about how the reason why Mamdi got into the mayor's office or whatever is because of Andrew Tate and Nick Fuentes and all those red pill bros who want to repeal the 19th. And if you would have been nicer, women wouldn't have voted that way. Get the fuck out of here. Well, where are you getting this? And I'm seeing this over and over from so many different, ostensibly conservative female voices just on Twitter alone, just on social media alone. And of course, they never respond to, anything that anybody, any kind of, rebuttal that anybody has for them. And the only conclusion I'm coming to right now, and this is going to sound really conspiratorial, but I've said this before, and I hate being right all the time. But I'm fairly convinced that these conservative influencers have been bought off and they're getting paid by the tweet. Now, why do I say that? Because influencers like Destiny and Vaush and Not So Erudite and Jasmine Jafar and a lot of these other chicks who made the rounds on whatever podcast and Fresh and Fit, and hell, even Mike's interviewed Farah and Jasmine Jafar, but they were paid sock puppets of of a PAC, a political action committee called Progressive Victory. And right up until just about the middle of this year, Destiny was still on the fucking payroll. And who's funding the Progressive Victory? The DNC. So if they're able to buy that off, if they're able to, if there is any doubt that Lauren Chen and Lauren Southern and anybody associated with Tenet Media was taking money from the Russians, right? Like Mike told me, he says, well, the conservatives are probably taking money too. And he was right about that. So understand this, going into the midterm elections of next year, you want a prediction? Here's your prediction. You're going to see all of these influencers on the payroll of political action committees or NGOs, or in some way their influence, their voices will be bought. And the reason why I say this is because up until recently, well, actually, I should say that right after Trump got elected, this time last year, right? What were the first talk shows, especially on MSNBC and some of the more they're all liberal, but they're, wokesy side of things. The first thing they said on the first roundtable discussions, they said, it's like, well, what's this Manosphere thing? Even Dana Bash was like, we all live in the Manosphere, and I guess that's the word or whatever for the year. Yeah, give me that drop real quick.
The big term of 2024, Anderson, is the Manosphere, and we're all living in the Manosphere now.
That was right after Trump had been declared the president-elect. Right afterwards on CNN, they knew what they have used that term. They know what the Manosphere is. And so the first thing that was out of their mouths was, well, we don't have guys like Joe Rogan or Jordan Peterson or Andrew Tate. We don't have cool guys like that to reach out and speak to the male vote, because they were really concerned about the male vote back in, as far back as 2022, really. But and so they're having these conversations about how can we get young men of this, Gen Z or coming up on Gen Alpha, I guess, the latter half of the millennials. How do we get those men to come back to the Democratic, the liberal, progressive side of things? And the fact of the matter is, you never had them in the first place. They were not there, and they knew this. Why would you think that, Rollo? The reason why I say that is because Democratic PACs like Progressive Victory weren't interested in bringing the males back to the DNC. They weren't worried about that. You know what they were worried about? Exactly what happened. Men voted in overwhelming numbers to put Trump in office, helping put Trump into office. And that's what they were worried about. So when when you see, what is it, Pamela Harris in her book was essentially saying that it was people like Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines by name in the using their names in the book, saying that it was, was their influence is what like lost her the election. They were concerned about this, and they weren't concerned about dragging men over to their side. They wanted to repress that vote. They wanted to make sure that guys got so disenfranchised and so out of sorts and so despondent and nihilistic and hopeless about it that they wouldn't go to the polls and they wouldn't vote for that candidate, right? They did. You lost, and that's what happened. Now, so right in the aftermath of that, then we have these discussions. How are we going to bring men back to the fold? You got Richard Reeves out there throwing out ideas, and you've got like really lame attempts by Gavin Newsom to say, "Hey, we got to bring the guys back. Look, here I am benching 225." He wasn't even doing that. 135, right? I'm a man's man, or I'm like really stupid, lame attempts to like, well, what are guys into? I hunt. Yes. I'm a longshoreman. No, you're not. You're an actor. But that was the message right up until recently, right up until this vote. How do I know that? Because you have all these women coming out of the woodwork talking about, well, if it wasn't for you mean men in the manosphere, you misogynists who want to take away our right to vote, then this wouldn't have happened. So you guys, we're all for your empowerment and you becoming servant leaders and all this bullshit that Allie Beth Stuckey talks about and all this bullshit that TPUSA wants to tell you about. We're all for that as long as it's within this realm, like within this tolerance threshold. We want you to be a man, but we don't want you to be too much of a man, right? We don't want you to take away our right to vote. We don't want you to be, over the top with you. Can't be a macho man. You can't be controlling. We're afraid. Essentially, what they're saying is we're afraid you're going to seize power. That's what they're afraid of. And it's this. So now the narrative is no longer let's get the guys back here. It's about let's get more women out there in numbers because these guys will take away your right to vote. They want to take away your right to vote, so you have to go and vote for Momdi. That's the message. So it's no longer about can we get those guys to vote? It's about get more women out. They've given up on trying to get the male vote. They've given up on all of that. And that's why you get these bitches on Twitter right now just screeching up a storm about how, they want to repeal the 19th. First of all, no one is going to repeal the 19th. Just cut the shit. It's fear mongering is what it is. It's just it's an emotional appeal. It's an emotional reframe, which is exactly what I would expect from the party that speaks only the language of emotionalism. So cut the shit, ladies. It's not going to happen. And just because Nick Fuentes or somebody else said, hey, we should repeal women's right to vote, or you saw one tweet from some anonymous, spurg on Twitter, repeal the 19th. You know how long they've been saying that? You know how long that has been like some battle cry for incels and MGTOWs and doomers? I can't say the B pill word anymore because apparently that flags you now. But you can't say it's getting to the point right now where it's like they've glommed onto the repeal the 19th meme. No one's doing that. I have specifically said on this show, no one is going to repeal the 19th. I've put it out there a million times. Hey, great idea. How are you going to do that? How does that? Where do we begin with that?
It's rage bait.
Yeah, it's just rage bait. That's not going to happen. But they're happy to use that. They're happy to use that as ammunition to promote this new idea that the right, the ultra conservative right, are going to all turn into Andrew Tates. And by the way, even Andrew Tate has no love for the red pill. He's disavowed the red pill so many times, unless he's now suddenly embraced it again because he has a habit of doing that. Same thing with Sneeko. And yes, I've seen the Sneeko video. Well, the red pill's dead. Not according to these bitches, it's not. Not according to everybody who wants to talk about these issues. You know how many times I've been doing this for 23 years now? You know how many times I've heard people say, well, the red pill's dead now. What the Manosphere stuff is like, that's so passe.
You were doing that longer than I've been alive.
Yeah. Game is dead. Then why are we still talking about it? You know, if game didn't work, we wouldn't be talking about it in 2025. Okay, it works, and we're going to continue talking about it into the future. At least the psychological, effects of it will. All right, let me get to these because these were pretty good. Give me the reality check today. There you go. There's your reality check. You get a Don DeMarco, and you get a Don DeMarco, and you get a Don DeMarco. All right. Hi, Seed. Hello, Seed. Rollo, what the hell? Wait, hold on. Rollo, what the hell? People in the comments are talking shit about you and Sartain. They are. Don't these fresh and fit viewers know how instrumental you were to their success, along with Donovan and MLD? Well, apparently not. If you've just come into the red pill, then yeah, if that's all you know, like I keep saying this, I don't know how many times I have to repeat this. If you think the red pill begins and ends with Andrew Tate and Pearl Davis and even Myron Fresh, or hell, even me, right? I don't care if you're into CGA. I don't care if you're into the Andrew Willson. The red pill was around when they were kids, okay? When they were still in high school, okay? Maybe not CGA, but the red pill was around long before any of these guys were active. And and in some cases, it's just brutal plagiarism, and they're lifting it. Other cases, it's just the red pill is just open source, and they're using it to develop a brand on. I don't have any problem with that. But let's just be honest here, okay? Like I am not in any way claiming authority or purpose or whatever it is over anyone's success. But I will say this, that Myron and Fresh have been using this as a source material for a very long time. I was one of the first guests they ever had on the show. Me, like if you go back to the very earliest days of Fresh and Fit, you'll see me and Hotep Jesus. Like, why don't you give Hotep Jesus any shit? He was on there too. But there was a time from 2021 through most of 2022 where I was there every single month. I was a guest on Fresh and Fit once a month from January of 2021 through August of 2022. That's when I started like investing myself more in Las Vegas, and Miguel and I, your brother and I, went and decided to start this wonderful studio right here, which, by the way, Myron Gaines just used last week?
Yep.
A
few days ago.
Yeah. And I should also point this out too, is because I know people are going to get all up in there. You're going to get your panties in a wad about this. I don't hate CGA. If I did, would I let him use this studio with Fresh and say, go ahead, please, it's available. Go and use it. I don't have a problem with CGA. People keep saying this. I really want to put this fucking to bed, okay? I had a problem with him working with Anthony Johnson, who is a non-issue anymore. And even the fat kid in Brazil is a non-issue now. So I've outlasted all these guys, and you're going to give me grief for that. But it's just, you guys just want outrage bait. I don't have a problem with that. If you want my real opinion on what was going on with Andrew Willson and CGA, I'll cover that later on. But you guys got to want it. You guys got to ask me. Well, I mean, and then, Donovan Sharp, MLD, like MLD had my back when nobody else did. I know he thinks I'm an asshole now because of all the bullshit that Glenn Lawrence has been feeding him about like Red Pill Thor. But, I don't hold anything against MLD. I still love him like a brother. I mean, he was part of Rule Zero for a long time, and whatever, he's doing his thing. I'm doing mine. Same thing with Rich Cooper. I haven't talked to Rich Cooper since, when was that? 2022? I think September or something of 2022, and he decided to take a permanent hiatus. And that was that. And low key, Rich snipes at me, but just like through the Manosphere, really. And then starts his own show, starts ladies' night, and poaches our girls for his show. I'm like, so I'm glad I can help. You might still think I'm a dick, but you're still poaching our girls and following our format. So, what do they say about imitation being the sincerest form of flattery? Well, I wish him well with his new book, please. I think people want to see like Discord where there's really nothing there. Dude, Donovan Sharp, I play fucking fantasy football with that. I still play fantasy. I'm doing it right now. I'm kicking his ass, dude. I'm actually number one in the league right now. I know what I'm doing. What's up, Rollo? Sir Master J, Mr. J, Master Chief. What's up, Rollo? Master of the Universe and the Red Pill. Thank you. again for everything. Godspeed, brother. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And we got a new Clutch is now a member. You can become a member too if you'd like. If I get enough, I'll do members only, but I think I've got like 4 members to this channel. So I agree with you wanting GBD instead of duty sex. Genuine burning desire. Instead of duty sex, what an amazing world it would be if women refused a duty provision, protection, and parental investment unless they had genuine burning desire to give it. Yeah, well, that's the thing is I keep throwing this one out there and people don't know what I'm talking about. I had some guy really criticizing the idea that I don't want submission. I don't want a woman's submission. I want her to want to be there, right? It's not like the word submission to me seems like I'm doing this because I have to, not because I want to. And so it's obligation. It's compliance through obligation rather than a natural desire to do those things. And so I think I threw out a tweet recently. I was saying, I don't want submission. I want your natural, genuine burning desire, genuine desire, right? I don't want your obligated compliance. I want you to want to be there, right? I'm just trying to relate this to really what's called the desire dynamic. Right? I can pay a prostitute to have sex with me, but I can't make her want to have sex with me. She can be a very good actress and pretend that she's really, really into it, and there's nobody better than me. And then I pay her $500. What is it?
What's the going rate?
Yeah, what's the going rate? Well, I know some very expensive escorts, so it's probably more like $2,000. I got these girls going, what the fuck? I'm gonna have to tell him. And then she walks away, and now she's, turns off the actress. I don't want that. If that's how it's going to work for you, if you got to be drunk to fuck me, if you've got to be, lit, if you've got to have some sort of mitigating, that's not burning desire. I hate to use the burning desire. That's not genuine, organic, innate, intrinsic, natural desire. That's all I was talking about. And it is a whole different animal than transactional relationships. So people say, well, you're always going to get into a transaction, which is true. But it's much better to get into that from the position of natural desire than it is to start from the position of transaction. So if that's the case, if you think I'm a liar and you think there's no such thing as genuine, natural, organic burning desire, right, then you may as well be paying for box. And if that's what you want to do, please, it's probably more pragmatic. Just move to Las Vegas where it's legal, right? Just go where it's legal, right? And it's practically legal anyway. People kept asking, I get this question all the time. Rollo, what do you think would happen? What do I think? What do you think would happen if we legalize prostitution? I'm like, it is legal here. What are you talking about? But it's more or less legal everywhere if you think about it, because you've got like these sites like tryst.com or, I mean, hell, seeking arrangements is kind of somewhere in a gray area. But then you've got, what else? Skip the Games, which are basically just hookup sites for guys who want to pay an escort to come and fuck them in a hotel room, or they go somewhere else. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. I've only seen people initiate transactions online, Glenn Lawrence. I've only seen them. I'm only peripherally aware of how that works. But I do know that exists. And so why wouldn't it be it's basically legal anyways? There's no way to enforce it or to stop it anyway. So, especially in this state anyhow. But why would that not be your first choice? Why wouldn't you? Well, okay, fine. If you really think it's all about money, then why are you not just buying whore? Why are you complaining? Why are you crying about, oh, these bitches aren't worth it? Just buy them. Just buy the box. Go for it. It's all you, man. I don't feel that way, but pragmatically speaking, if it's numbers and ones and zeros, if we're just logistically, that seems like it makes the best sense. But you have a problem with direct prostitution. you have a real problem with direct prostitution, but then it's another discussion, or it's another, we'll hem and haw over the fact how, women can't have natural desire for you. Okay, fine. Go fuck a hooker,
Well, I'm a whore.
Go find that bitch. There are plenty of them. Go get into porn. Get in it. They're all like shit.
Yeah.
The OnlyFans girls I know, they're always looking for talent. They're always looking for a stunt dick. You don't have to show your face. All you gotta do is put your dick down there, and then they'll never. If you look good from like your thighs up to your abs, you're in. You're in. Yeah. So just to answer your question, it's like duty sex to me is, I don't want duty sex. If a woman says, well, the guys will say this, and I think this maybe has something to do with like the religious set as well. The Lord said that you're not supposed to deny your body to me, so spread them, honey. Dude, God forbid those words ever come out of my mouth. And not because I'm afraid of like marital rape charges or anything like that. It's like, I don't want, if you're not into it, why would I want? I want to fuck somebody who's into. I'll go find somebody else. I'll tell you what, you stay here. I'm going to go down to the clubs and I'll find somebody who wants to fuck me, right? Why does that not seem like the natural like alternative instead of, well, the Bible says you're supposed to give me some nookie tonight, honey. So here we go. Like, who wants that shit, man? I think what happens is like
I think Thomas V said it.
I'm gonna piss some people off. What do you say? Like God's yeah. No man has ever scriptured a woman into bed. Okay. No man has ever virtued a woman into bed. That's why I kept saying, like, a lot of guys think it's in this book available on Amazon. There's a chapter in here. It's called Relational Equity. And what I meant in that chapter is that guys think that the more they put into the relationship, the more they read to their kids before bedtime, the more they do homework with them, the more they go to piano recital, the more they go to, little league games, whatever it is, they're a good dad. The more they're a good dad, the more their woman is going to want to fuck them, and the better insurance they have against the dreaded hypergamy, right? And then they find out that hypergamy doesn't care. It doesn't care about that shit. It doesn't care about your wedding vows. It doesn't care about your all those nights you spent, teaching your kid to read. Doesn't care about that. That doesn't make you hotter. But that's what the Bible says. That's why we got to be a mighty man of God and a servant leader and all that stuff. Hypergamy doesn't care if you're a servant leader. In fact, if anything, it's a turn off. Women want to fuck very bad men. That's what they want. Goodness and being Superman and being the good guy is not going to get you laid. Being the bad guy is going to get you laid. I'm sorry to say. And these are guys who who are dudes who don't fuck. And they want to tell you that this is how it works. And that is not how it works. Comfort, rapport, familiarity are anti-seductive. The best sex you will have is not from a date night where you reserve the honeymoon suite and the penthouse suite at the Durango and you sprinkle rose petals all over the bed and everything like that. The best sex you're going to have is, oh my God, we almost broke up. It's the makeup sex. It's the urgency. He could have fucked somebody else and he didn't, or I don't know that he didn't, but I'm going to fuck him really crazy now and keep my man. Like those chicks in that one video where he's sending, she's gone, come over now. if let's just say for sake of argument, that was a true, it wasn't a skit or something like that. If that was a true event or, whatever had happened, the sex you would have after that would have been fucking amazing, especially with those Latinas. Yes. That's going to be a better sexual experience for you than, I'm so make love to me, Eddie, instead of fuck the shit out of me, Eddie.
I can confirm.
Yes.
I concur.
The trick to a good married sex life is tapping into that dynamic. Now, you don't have to go, well, bitch, if you don't fuck me, I'm going to go down to the corner here and find some girl who does, because I'm the kind of guy that other women want to fuck. Right? Most guys don't have that opportunity, and it's certainly not believable. But you need to find some way to stoke that dynamic in some way. So anyways, moving on. Mr. Jason again, showing my respect and support for the originator to stop watching the cheap knockoffs from China, and get the real deal here on the rational male. Thank you for that glowing endorsement, my friend. And $20 is the high bid right now. Going. Bachelor Pad economics by Aaron on AM. Yes, on Amazon. You know what's funny is, have you ever seen the cover of that book? Like, it's kind of like cartoons. If you look at the guys that are in the bachelor pad on like the illustration on that book, you'll see Roosh is on there. And this is one still to this day, it's the funniest shit that Aaron ever did. He wanted to get me to be on the book cover too. And it was just too late for the artist. He couldn't get it on there. But he actually originally asked me if it'd be okay if my likeness of like in the illustrative, cartoon would be on the cover. And I was like, hell yeah, but I never made it on there. But Roosh is on that cover. This is the time of year when like sunlight really bites us, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Rogan and Peterson were too mainstream to make it on the DHS Boogeyman watch list. No, they were already paid by other entities. Nobody is paid without a boogeyman. Yes, enter Rollo Tomasi, the boogeyman, need to be sufficiently obscure to not be missed. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a little story here. This happened actually this morning, as a matter of fact. My wife and I were sitting on the couch, and as we do, and we just ran the dogs, and we're having coffee on the couch. And she's kind of doom scrolling on her phone, and she comes across, I don't know, whatever's in her Apple News, and it was a article, something about like the state of masculinity, and it was interviewing or talking to Professor Scott Galloway, and she's looking at this and she's scoffing, and she's like grinding her teeth. I'm like, what the fuck are you reading? And she's like, do you know this guy, Scott Galloway? And I was like, oh, yes, I do. And she's like, he steals all your shit. I'm like, yeah. Yep. Yes, he does. Like, she didn't know who Scott Galloway was, but it was funny. Jeez, man. It's this sliver of light right here, man. It's that. If you push this over, I think we'll be good. Man, it's blinding too. Push that over, like so, like butts up again. I think that might help. Yeah, there we go. Man, what's up with the lighting when we go to daylight? Like we go to standard time. Holy shit. Yeah. So yeah, the reason why is they were. Oh, you know who else didn't make it on the DHS watch list or the NGO watch list? Whatever podcast. Why? Why do you think that is? When a woman calls me out asking where's this going, do I play the question or call it out? Set boundaries, demand standards, let her know I'm not waiting. Okay, calls you out, like it sounds like you're asking two different questions. When a woman calls you out asking you where it's going, usually there's it's in Player's Handbook. There's a chapter in there. It's called The Talk. And it's usually like when women like are with their other girlfriends and they go, I need to give him the talk because I need to know where like if a woman says, where is this going? Are we Facebook official? Are we boyfriend, girlfriend? Well, I need some clarity here. Be ready for that plate to fall off. Okay. Yeah. If you're spinning plates, if you have a roster, if you're dating non-exclusively, above board, ethically, I'm not saying manipulate them and weaponize it like Chris Williamson would have us all believe. And yes, I did see the Chris Williamson interview with Tucker Carlson, another guy who now suddenly is a big Rollo Tomasi fan because everything that came out of his mouth is something that I have said over the last, as long as he's known me for the last, 10, 12 years. Welcome, brother. Welcome, Chris Williamson, to the Manosphere and the Red Pill. You can stop interviewing Destiny right now, and you can call me or Mike Sartain. Hell, Mike Sartain would be a good substitute. But so the talk is usually it's usually like, where's this going? That if a woman says, where's this going? That's the talk. You're about to get the talk. And the talk usually consists of, how come we're not exclusive? And at that point, yes, you have two choices. You're either going to have it on your terms or it's going to fall off. And my best suggestion for you, you want to know why I always advocate for dating non-exclusively and, spin more plates, is exactly because of this dynamic right here. And if that woman has been spending a lot of time with you and has been trying to invest in you, and you're not 100% with her, let her fall off. It's better for you and it's better for her. Don't try to keep it going if it's not something that you see going long term. I will tell you this right now, and in this case, I am going to agree with the female side of things, because you're not only wasting her time, you're wasting your time as well. So at that point, you have to decide it's time to shit or get off the pot, right? The talk is what am I to you? That's the talk. So yeah, at that point, yes. Do I set boundaries, standards? Yeah, well, say, look, like hey, do you want, are you asking me to be non-exclusive with you? Make sure that it comes from her side instead of you going to that side. Most men will always say, I love you first. Never, ever, ever say, I love you first. You want me to go get that is the first commandment of Poon from Royce, man. It's on the 16 commandments of Poon. The first one is never say, I love you first. And you know who statistically says that the first is usually the guy, because usually, remember, 80% of guys fall into the invisibles, or they're in the 20 percentile, right? They're a guy who's in the 4.5%. He never gets that talk. Like that woman is already there. She's like, well, I'm just waiting for him to come around. It does. The talk never comes because she doesn't want to upset the apple cart. She can't believe her luck that she's with the guy that she's with, Justin fucking Waller, and she can't believe her fucking luck. That you will never get that talk. Where are we? What am I to you, Justin? Another bitch. I just lost your number. I just swiped away because he's got a roster, and even if he didn't have a roster, he knows he can generate one. So it's usually the guys who are necessitous, meaning that they need that chick. They're happy to get married. They're happy to settle down. They're happy to settle into some kind of monogamy. And it's usually guys who are saying, I love you first, because they want to lock that shit down, because they don't have the same kind of opportunities as a guy who's a higher value guy who has more bitches, the guys who fuck, right? And so does it not make sense? I'm not saying this to piss people off. These are just pragmatic, logical facts, right? A guy who doesn't have the same kind of opportunities as another guy does, it's in his best interest to lock that down. It's called strategic pluralism theory. I think it's by Gangstad. I forget. It's one of the associates of Marty Hazelton proposed that guys who have less opportunities in the sexual marketplace are more inclined to monogamy because they don't get pussy. They like, oh my God, I got pussy. I better lock this down. This is great. A chick gave me a chance. Fucking hey, I'll do whatever you want to. You want to go to church on Sundays? No problem. That's just the basis of it. So yeah. So really, I wouldn't call it out, but know what you're getting into, because remember, if you call it out, then you are breaking character. You're not playing the game anymore. You're talking about the game. And that's even if you decide to stick with her, then it's not in your best interest to do that. So what do we got here? Holy mother. Is it the female game to always make false accusations and hope something sticks as a means of control? Yeah, well, because women are more believable than guys are right now. Yep. They also should point out the women are wonderful effect. Like if a product by women is more trustworthy than a product by men. If something affects both men and women equally, it's usually only attention is drawn to the female side of it. It's crazy that KP Demon Hunters gave us Jinyu, one of the more realistic ma'am in a film in a while. So he will for sure be immaculate in later films. I say keep going to your ESL classes and then come back once you've mastered the language and then post that again. Holy mother. Thank you very much, Sean Bipley, with no message. Appreciate you, brother, for that $100. Ned will be well fed as a result, because the farmer's dog food is fucking expensive, but my dogs love that shit. It is good. If you have a dog, try Farmers. It's pretty damn good. Warrell and Sterling Waller and Sterling Cooper are good friends. Is that what you're implying? Waller and Sterling Cooper are good friends, though often sit shoulder to shoulder. But after hours, do you think they sit cheek to cheek? Oh,
those guys are fast.
I'll tell them you said that. I haven't seen them together in a while. Maybe things have changed. Maybe the nature of their relationship has changed. I'm working with Austin Dunham, and in his program, do you think I'm going to get some action with a girl by the end of it? I have no earthly idea who Austin Dunham is. I don't know who that is, but I would say that if you're going to get some action with a girl, was that your point? Was that what you want to do? Because MOA is here and you will get action. What Sweeney has to do with today's topic? Well, I'm going to tell you here in a moment. It's so you'll look at the thumbnail and come on in. Cheese tax for the doggos. Thank
Where
you.
are the Cheetos?
Thank you. All right. Hey now. Okay, you get this too. Project Althea. Yeah, you must have Alethea. Just got the new book. As a fellow zeroed out sojourner, I likely to say thank you. I encourage every young man to read The Rational Male. Hey, and thank you, Project Alethea, for that video. I think that was your video. Was that your montage that I put up about authority, responsibility without authority? I thought that was interesting. It saved me the trouble of doing it myself, because if I'd have done it myself, then it would have looked very self-serving, but it didn't, because it's better if it comes from a third party. But thank you for doing that, because it kind of led into today's topic about responsibility without authority. People don't know where that came from, and I'm going to show you where that came from today, because we're still dealing with the same issues and the same problems and the same bullshit that we are right now. Only I'd say it's a little bit more exacerbated. Writing on the don't say I love you first. Is it better to have a woman ask for a relationship first, even if you already want the relationship? Yes. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. It's my show. I'll do what I want. I'm going to call this up here. 16 Commandments of Poon. Because it seems timely. It seems like this is what we ought to be talking about. And yes, I know the guys on Rule Zero did this recently. I'm only going to do one of these today. So just let's bear with me. There it is. Chateau Artiste from the archives. 16 Commandments of Poon. Here, this will answer your every question. I never say I love you first. This is the first commandment, by the way. Never say I love you first. Women want to feel like they have to overcome obstacles to win a man's heart. This is why you don't give it away. Whatever is cheap loses value. They crave the challenge and of capturing the interest of a man who has other women competing for his attention and eventually prevailing over his grudging reluctance to award his committed exclusivity. That means your exclusivity is what, children? Valuable. Got it? The man who gives his emotional world away too easily robs women of the satisfaction of earning his love. Though you may be in love with her, don't say it before she has said it. There's the answer to your question, my friend. Show compassionate restraint for her need to struggle towards yin fulfillment, like yin yang, yin fulfillment. Inspire her to take the leap for you, and she'll return the favor 1,000-fold. There you go. See, it's all been spelled out to you. This was written it was rewritten, but it was rebroadcast from like 2009. It's been around forever. Let's see if I can dump that. There we go. Yes. So yeah, that's exactly what that means. Because you got to remember, like, people say, "Oh, that's game playing." If you feel it, you should say it. You should act on it. Your feelings will never lead you astray. No, don't. You'll be in a better, like, that's the thing, is like, I think a lot of people think that, like, well, you should automatically just spill your guts on the first, on the restaurant table on your first date. When I was 12 years old, my dog died, and then my parents split up, and then I did this, and then I did that, and I went to school, and I went to here, and then I was really this and this and this, and I really like zombie movies, and I like anime, and I like.
What now?
What's left? What's left for you?
Wow.
That was the other thing. Yeah. You can fix that.
Yeah.
Although at least it went behind me instead of in front of me.
I think it works fine.
That's okay. It's good. Hey, I got a halo of light. God, I couldn't have planned that better. Thank you, God. Wait. Yeah. Never spill your guts. Always be a mystery method. Always be a mystery, right? It serves you best. Like, I remember and I didn't do this on purpose. It's just the way that it worked out. But like when my wife and I, when she was my girlfriend, we were seeing other people. We were dating non-exclusively at that time, although she was my favorite. She was the hottest and the best piece of ass. But I was seeing a chick at her same hospital at the same time. Yeah, I'm sure she probably knew, because it's like it was a very close-knit hospital in the smallish town. So, but yeah, I mean, and then at one point along the way, she said, "I love you" first. And it was like, I don't like the idea of you, like, being with other women. I want to be exclusive. And it wasn't me who said that. It was her who said this. So I was like, okay, I was good with that, because she was the one I wanted to stick with anyway. That worked out that way, but I didn't go, I should not say I love you first. That's organically the way it went. Because when you're in your own frame, really, that's not even a question. Like when you get the talk, right? You just make sure that when you have that talk, you're still in your most dominant frame that you can possibly be in, right? So, God, I can't believe the Charlie Kirk thing. All right, what's going on in the freaking chat right now? Do they want me to talk about CGA? Is that what they're asking me to do? I don't think so. I'll just give this to you because I feel like I got to put a caveat on this, because everybody's giving CGA shit and everybody was giving Andrew Willson shit. It's like the CGA army versus the Andrew Willson army were going at each other. And I don't know if me and Mike got thrown into the cross. Mike didn't even know he was in the crossfires, right? I don't have a problem with CGA. I never have. Okay. The only problem I had is who he worked with, which was Anthony Johnson. Okay. Anthony is a non-issue. He's completely defunct. That whole convention is over. My thinking during that time was, he came at like Rich Cooper, so I kind of had to take Rich's side at that time, but I don't think he did it maliciously. I think most of his followers came after Rich's followers. But who won? CG? Who won? Who destroyed who? I think they both made good points, and I think both of them made bad points too. I don't think there was a clear winner or a clear loser, because I don't think it was a debate to begin with. It was mostly just crosstalk, and it was just like, yeah, your mama stinks. No, your mama stinks. There's never, like, it was funny to me because I noticed this. I took notes. I got notes when I was watching. I knew people were going to talk about it because we had CGA on there. I want to point out before I continue, because a lot of people are saying, oh, that Rollo guy and that Mike Sartain guy, they had the Avengers podcast on Access Vegas, and they just wanted to go on there. They did that to fuck with CGA. Like, no, we didn't, you dumb fucks. We had that on the books for 2 weeks prior to that. I knew that. In fact, I didn't even have Andrew as a guest on there until I found out that through Jake Rattlesnake, that he was even going to be in Vegas. Because he was in fact, Andrew was not in Vegas for us. He was in Vegas for to do the thing with Sean Kelly. And then he was making the rounds because he's promoting his debate con thing that's in Colorado, which I guess is next week. And I'm like, cool, can we get you on the show? I wanted to do Access Vegas with him and some girls, right? But then Myron hit me up and said, hey, I'm going to be in Vegas at that same week. And so we said, you know what, let's just do it on our own. Because when we do like round tables, where it's just the guys, it's so much a better show. Yeah. So much a better show. And so that was the only reason we did that. The fact that it happened to be a day or two after the fact that like Andrew and CGA went at it, had absolutely nothing to do with it. We weren't like planning, how can we get CGA? Nobody was saying that. No, that was not a part of the plan. We had them in. That was the week that we had them in. And then I didn't even know CGA and Andrew were doing a thing until like that day. And that's only because I follow Andrew on Twitter, right? So like just settle down, turn it down just a little bit. Okay. It wasn't a big gotcha. So just like settle the fuck down for that shit. Yeah, and I know. Trust me, I have a Sneeko on demand too. If you were to, would you like me to? What do you think of the Sneeko type red pill? Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I have that video already, so just hold your horses there, Mohammed. I'm going to get to that. Sneeko has like been a virus to this space for way too long. Another guy who I don't understand why we keep giving him oxygen. But anyways, as far as CGA and Andrew are concerned, I think some of like if I have a problem here, I'll just tell you what I think about both of these guys. I think they both made good points. I understand CGA's side of it. He's trying to stay more realistic. He's definitely an atheist. I know he's an atheist because I saw him debate Hafiz. I know he's an atheist because I think he did a debate or something with Ruslan at one point too. So I know what he's about as far as his philosophy is concerned, his religious, inclinations are, which are none. And okay, I get it. He also wants to live in the real world and be empirical about things and say, hey, look, this is how things operate in the real world. I understand. I think Andrew can grasp that as well, but he's like trying to offer solutions, and those solutions only really come down to one thing, which is everybody should convert to Eastern or Orthodox Christianity and everything will be fine. And I also want to point out that statistically speaking, Andrew was incorrect about Christianity being having the lowest divorce rate. Actually, the lowest divorce rate is Hinduism. Mm-hmm. Hinduism, and I got the numbers from Jim Sexton from the Forbes article. It's a Forbes stats on divorce, and it's from 2025, by the way. So the religion with the best success rate of marriage is Hinduism. 60% marriage rate and a 5% divorce rate. Now, that might have something to do with prearranged marriages and, and how it works over there. But the fact of the matter is that's a religion and that's a divorce. So if we're going to base our solution to divorce and sexless marriages and everything, we're going to base that on a religion that has the best track record for marriage and divorce, then we should not be looking at Orthodox Christianity. We should all convert to Hinduism and worship Kali or whatever the fuck it is, right? But the fact of the matter is that it's based on this idea that the church would be a good arbiter of marriages rather than the state. And I've had this conversation with Dr. Everett Piper before, back in the Pat Campbell days. And even when I had that conversation with Dr. Everett Piper, like he still wanted the state to be involved to some degree. And I was like, that if you've read my book, The Rational Male Religion, there's a whole big fat hairy section on there about marriage and just what it is today and what it's become. And that conversation that I had with Dr. Everett Piper. Now, I took the anti-marriage stance because I had to. Of course, he was going to take the pro-marriage stance. But it's not that I'm anti-marriage. Obviously, I've been married for almost 30 years now. So I find intrinsic benefits of being married, okay? It's nice to have somebody come visit you at the hospital when you have a fucking fistula. Okay? It's really nice. You have to say, hey, can you come and bring my laptop so I can talk to these idiots? It's nice to have people who actually care about you when you don't have anybody else, right? Okay, that's definitely a benefit. I have very regular sex with my wife. It's great. I love it. Can't wait to do it again on Tuesday. So I'm in a really weird middle spot when it comes to like debates like this. And again, as I said before, I don't think debate is what people think it is right now. And I tried to talk about, I explained this to Andrew, and it's kind of not in his best interest to sort of acknowledge this, and I get it. But because debate today it's like a contact sport. It's not what classic debate is all about. If you've ever been on a debate team, in college or like hell, I think maybe in high school, if you've ever taken any classes on formal logic and debate, in fact, that's what it's called. I think it's logic and debate. I took those. I had to. It was a mandatory class I had to take when I was in college. There's a reason why we have what are called logical fallacies. You're looking for those argumentative like techniques that people use to try to like get one over on you. Straw manning, like everybody knows that. Ad homs. That's all really that comes down to with Andrew and CGA was ad hominem attacks. Oh, he's you don't believe in Sky Daddy, right? And it's like that has nothing to. That's immaterial. Don't debate the man. Debate the issue, debate the topic. That's really formal debate, right? Because formal debate, classical debate from like Hellenic Greece or Rome on the Senate floor, all that stuff, or Socrates with, in the symposium, or Plato in the symposium, right? They're debating not if that guy's an asshole. They're debating I've got a concept here. Let's debate pros and the cons of this concept or this phenomenon or whatever. Let's debate whether this is true or this is false. Is it on or is it off? It was a binary proposition, and it was never about destroying your opponent, right? It wasn't professional wrestling. And then came along modern debate. And modern debate was about, like, is this the best practice? Are we doing this the right way? Is this good? Is this evil? It wasn't about is something true or false. It was about, is this the best way to go about doing these things? And as a sort of a byproduct of that, it was the guy who proposes this, he's kind of evil. The guy who proposed, and I'm the good guy, and I'm proposing that we all need to be good, moralistic, upstanding Christian soldiers, right? And so that's modern debate. Then there's postmodern debate, which is what everyone is familiar with, because it's the debate that presidents have during election season. Like, well, we're going to have a presidential debate. You know what that's about? He's a dick, and I'm not. He's on you. He's the enemy, and I'm on your side. I'm Team Trump versus Team Biden. Team Trump versus Team Pamela. Right? It's a team sport. It's tribalism is what it comes down to, and it comes down to name calling. It comes down to it's team hedonist degeneracy versus holy purity, more holier than thou purity morality squad. In some cases, and it's about who's the asshole, who's not the asshole. Oh, hey, James Sexton James Sexton. Oh, wow. Okay.
He just comes in and drops that.
He just drops this. I know. Okay, I'm going to throw this out here just because it's James. James says, hey, brother, my side gig, trustedprenup.com is doing well. We do prenups for around $600 that are guaranteed. Okay, here's your ad drop. I expect something in my PayPal for this. I've never done this before. This is just me prompting here. Hey, brother, my side gig. Wait, announcer voice. I'm Gary Olson. Trustedprenup.com is doing well. We do prenups for around $600 that are guaranteed binding in all 50 states. I've added a promo code of Rollo, capital ROOROLLO. And if anyone enters it when ordering a prenup, they get $50. You get $50 off if you use my name. And you get a check for $50 for every person who uses it. Thanks, man. So if you need to go to trustedprenup.com, that's how it's spelled, trustedprenup.com. Here, I'll copy and paste it for you. Go over there, use the promo code for Rollo, R capital, all caps, ROLLO. Then you get $50 off your prenup, because all you guys want to get married now, right? because we're all about marriages here.
Business is booming.
This is booming, baby. Here you go. There, I'll put it in the chat for you. See, you got your very first endorsement on my place. Thank you very much. There you go. Awesome. Hey, Rollo, what happened to Anthony Dream Johnson? It's more like what happened to his brother. Did you take him out? By the way, Sneeko is a fart in an elevator. you can't fart in the chat. Words allowed. FART. Yeah. Well, I didn't have to. Guys like that end up doing themselves in worse than anything I could do. Like, there's a lot of guys I've backed up off of them. People go, how come you don't go after that fat kid in Brazil? Because I don't have to. Because eventually shit catches up with them. When people who are like that, people who have pathological personalities end up imploding. Sometimes all you got to do is wait. Destiny, all I had to do was wait. Lauren Southern, all I had to do was wait. Brittany Venti, all those other bitches that were like a part of the Let's Get Rollo Club forum. Yeah, I know who you are, Chrissy Mayer. I know who you are. All I had to do was wait. And guess what? I'm still here, and they're fucked up. They're going to, Destiny is going to jail at some point along the way. He's going to go to jail, or he's going to be paying a lot of money for his crimes. So I'm not too worried about it. And I think everybody else knows what he's about. Same thing with Anthony Johnson. Same thing with the fat kid in Brazil. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. That's all I need to do. And I'm going to let other people like screw themselves, because anything I could do to like ruin these guys' lives is pales in comparison to what they'll do to themselves. Let's be honest, Rollo, you said in the past that functionally Andrew Willson was a cuck, yes, by raising another man's children. You know, CGA had a very good point. He did. Yeah, as I said, they both had very good points. Functionally speaking, what is a cuckold? Like, what is the end product of a cuckold? It is a man who is taking care or has taken over the parental investment responsibilities of another man's progeny. That's what it is. You can dress it up in religion. You can dress it up in virtue. You can dress up what women can go, oh, you're not the stepdad. You're the dad who stepped up. However you want to sweeten the deal. The fact remains is that some other dude banged the woman that you're with, put a baby in her, took off, and maybe he's paying child support. I don't know, but you are left with let's say the lion's share of raising that child. And then that is a resource drain on you. Is that cuckoldry? Yes, by the English language dictionary, that is exactly what it fucking is. Does that mean you're a dick? Does that mean there's a lot of guys who do a good job with their stepkids. I didn't say that wasn't a thing. I'm just saying, by definition, that's what cuckoldry is. It's not you watching her. I mean, it could be, I guess, watching her getting railed in the cuck chair at some hotel or something like that. Do I think that that's what's happening with the Wilsons? No, that is not what's happening with them. But the end result, that's what the definition is. It's women's duplicitous mating strategy. I had sex with the hot guy in the foam cannon party. I had a baby by him, and now I need a man with some benefits, right? Guys who have less opportunity in the sexual marketplace see that as a good mating strategy. All I got to do is help her with these kids, and then maybe I can have some kids with her too. That seems like a good deal to people who don't have the sport fucking gene. So, I mean, I'll say it again. That's basically what it is. Now, does that mean I disagree with everything he says? No, not at all. Still enjoy your content though. Much needed for men. Okay, well, thank you for enjoying it. Striking it rich. Okay. What is this? It's Rollo the time, baby. In the Avengers stream, I wanted to hear more of you speak. In fact, I was wondering if you could give us your take on CGA. Okay, so I am kind of giving that to you right now. I think factually, one of the debate techniques. I don't even, like I said, I don't think it's a debate. I think it's postmodern debate, meaning like the point of the debate is to destroy your opponent, and that's not really debate. That's just you saying, you said this one time, and now I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, and you're actually a degenerate, hedonistic coomer. Where the fuck did that come from, right? And so I'm a better person than you, so you shouldn't listen to what he has to say. You should listen to what I have to say. That's postmodern debate. It's basically my opponent is an asshole, or not that my opponent is a liar. And he's on a different team and he has no solutions, and you shouldn't be listening to him, and you should be hitting me. It's basically the politics of personal destruction and damaging that person's personal brand. Both of these guys have big personal brands. Andrew Willson certainly does, and CGA definitely does. CGA gang comes into my chats all the time. I know you when I see you. Trust me. I look down and go, yeah, okay. Or like, I love it when I'm doing what was it? Something with James Jeffries. Yeah, that's right. I just did his Ask a Brother podcast. Yep. I did that. What do you suppose all of the chats were? Because we did that live. You can go over it and watch it now. And the comments. What's the first thing anybody says? Because he's black, I'm white, right? I went on because Fresh referred me to go on his show, and I wanted to help him out. Same way I helped out Fresh and Fit. I don't care if I'm black, white, or purple. If truth is the truth, what is coming out, right? So I'm talking to him, and what's the first thing anybody in the chat is like? Oh, get CGA on here. I expect that now. Okay. Team CGA, go. Right, Team Andrew Willson, go. I root for both of these guys. I don't want to see them at each other's throats, but I understand there's going to be a necessary clash there. And so one of the things that I think, well, actually both of them do this. So you guys are both guilty of this, is like when one guy drops some snarky, like under his breath, like, oh yeah, I expect that from a coomer like you, like stop it. It's like, stick to the fucking, like, your points. And every time, like, the thing is like, you can make this really good, cogent, like, point. And so, if you just stick to the fucking argument and stick to the fucking plan and stick to that point, rather than going, yeah, and his hair's funny too. Oh, and he's got a weird beard. Like stop. Like, you just ruined it. Like, the point you could have made and just let it go and just stayed on point and just like systematically dismantled them. That's what I did on Dr. Phil. I just stuck to the point. I stuck to the issues. I stuck to whatever they wanted to talk about. I remember when Imran Ahmed, I don't know if this made the final cut of the video, but I remember Imran Ahmed looked at me like dead in the face. He goes, everything is about power to you, Rollo. And I'm like, yes, it is. Everything's about power. You're goddamn right. Have you not read the 48 Laws of Power? Everything's about power, right? Because everything's about sex except for sex. Sex is about power, right? Of course it is. Everything's a power dynamic. And I didn't go, oh, well, you don't understand because you're, a greasy immigrant from the UK or whatever. I didn't say that. I stuck to the point, and it makes a better point if you do that because there's no coming back. You're gonna make a better jab at somebody if all you do is stick to those points. But these guys both know that if they come up with like, your mama smells bad, or, oh, you got a funny beard. Well, that he's a fucking wrong-headed guy, right? Like, you know how you prove that? You destroy his points. You destroy the argument. That's what you do. Stay on fucking point. You'll be so much better for having done that. But that's not how it works in postmodern debate. It's the guys in the chat. They're going, get him, get him, get him, get him. That's all it is. And that's not debate to me. It's not classical debate. That's for damn sure. Like, if I would go, like, you guys, of course you remember this. Remember when I foolishly, stupidly agreed to that debate with Alex from Playing with Fire? And I did that and thank God it was just on Twitter. And of course he makes this big deal about it. And Mike was begging me, please, you got to do this. And it was, I think I had agreed to some other debate. And then I didn't really want to do the one with Jasmine Jafar was actually part of that debate. She said like two things the whole time. We went for 3 fucking hours. And all it was this autistic kid with a lazy fucking eye. Just, you said this. You said I'm a liar. Are you saying that? And all it was a inquisition. It wasn't a debate. I told Mike, I said, I'll agree to this debate if you give me the topics that we're going to talk about. He just gave me this list of some bullshit topics and then just went off on his own tangent, right? And I'm sitting here listening to this poor clinically retarded child like rattle on what he'd wanted to say for the last 4 years. That's how long these guys hang on to this shit. But I agreed to this quote unquote debate. And I did so under the auspices of thinking that it was going to be about those topics that I said, well, what do you want to talk about? Right? What are the topics that we're going to debate? You're a liar. That's not a topic. That's your opinion of me. What are the topics that we're going to talk about? Are we going to talk about the alpha widow dynamic? Are we going to talk about hypergamy? Are we going to talk about stuff that's in my book? Are we going to talk about like any of the 9 iron rules of Tomasi? Like, what do you want? Like, give me a fucking concrete topic and I'll be happy to debate you. Wouldn't do it. That's because these guys don't care about topics. They don't care about classic debate. They don't care about debating the issue or debating the concept or debating a phenomenon. They only care about, you're a liar.
My feelings are hurt.
My feelings are hurt for 4 years. You've been lying about me. I want to tell everybody on this show that you're a liar.
That's essentially what they wanted me to do. And like, you guys are fucking better than that. Like, I know Andrew Willson is better than that because he's had those discussions with Alex from Playing with Fire. I know you can do this. I just want to see people step away from this idea that debate is about like, well, that's what debate's about. It's about destroying your opponent. No, it's not. It's about coming to the truth. That's a much nobler cause than he's a liar and he's a degenerate and he's an atheist and he's a funny beard. Where does that get people? Well, how does that benefit people? How do people get educated by that? Other than the fact that they ought to be following you instead of him. I need a new, like, people are very tribal. I get it. You know, tribalism is a feature of human nature, not a bug. It is a feature, but it can also be something that's, you know, detrimental to actually, you know, inquiry, you know, critical inquiry. Speaking of cuckoldry, how women expect you to be a father, but not when it comes to discipline. How do you resolve that? Or is it even dealing with single mothers? Why are you dealing with single mothers? That's like, if you're dating a single mother, keep it to fucking. Don't have any. I mean, if you want me, I'm going to give you some advice here. I would say this to anybody too: recreational use only. All right, and even then, temporarily until you move on to something else. I have guys in my my Reignite group who have been with single mothers, and then I'm like, you need to move on. Like, I still keep spinning plates, and they do, and they get out of that situation. The thing is that single mothers are always going to eventually have the talk with you, and it's going to be about having a man with benefits, locking down a man with benefits, right? And so you're going to get the free samples, you're going to get the free pussy until you lock it down and put a ring on it, and now suddenly shit changes. So let's see. We expect you to be a father, but not when it comes to discipline, right? Yeah, well, if you're going to discipline. Are you going to discipline the child of another man? Yeah, that's going to be real difficult for you to do. There's I forget the stats. I could look this up, but I think it's like the like domestic partners, meaning like mommy's new boyfriend, is like 100, like literally 100 times more likely to sexually abuse or violently abuse the the children of the biological father, right? Are way higher than that. And by the way, that kind of locks in with the phenomenon of primates, like alpha male primates, coming into that harem and killing, like infanticide, killing off all of the previous offspring of the previous alpha that he deposed. So I'm not like, obviously we don't kill the offspring, like maybe in some cases they do, but the idea of like being more sort of disciplinarian or like being more violent with a child that is not actually your biological DNA is higher than the biological father. The biological father is like next to nothing compared to a new domestic partner. So
that was my grandma's reasoning for never getting remarried.
Oh, because anything. She didn't want. She was worried about.
Well, her husband or my grandfather disappeared. No one knows whether he lived, whether his family or anything, but, got left with 6 kids and, 5 of them women, and they're all young. So it's like, how can you do anything? She knew what goes on in like rural Mexico. So,
right. Yeah. You got to be careful of that shit. Ladies, you need to be careful of that shit too. It's not just the guys on this. It's who are you bringing into the household? And I get it, man. It's hard, but that's the bed you made. So, how do you resolve that? Or is it worth, I would suggest you don't have to ever resolve it in the first place. Again, recreational use only. You should not be sharing a domestic situation with a single mother. You should have your own place. Keep that shit on the side. Say, my kids are with their father this weekend. Let's get after it. All right, until you find something better. But I would never say, like, I think from a pragmatic perspective and from an evolutionary perspective, it's better for men to like at least put, women who have already reproduced with someone else and keep them in the recreational use only division. And people want to say, well, don't you like even Wes Watson would give me shit about this because Wes Watson married the girl that had like two kids already, and then you get really self-righteous about shit like this, where it's like, don't you think that kids need a father? Yeah, but the father that mommy reproduced with would probably be my first one. But if you want to be, if that's the abuse you want to endure, if that's the burden you want to take on yourself, that better be some really fucking top shelf pussy. Because what is the upside of that? You can make that as ennobling and as moralistic as you want to. There had better be some upside to that. I don't know what that is. There's remember I tell that story about the older chick that I was with when I was 22.
Yeah.
And I saw the condo and she was trying to, and I said, this condo is way bigger, right? I've told this story before. So I was dating this chick, and I was 22 and she was 41, and she was the manager of my band. And so I'd go over to her place, and it was only on certain weekends too. And I was like, I wonder what's going on here. And then I realized that there was an extra bedroom to the condo that she was in, because she was telling me it was just a washroom. Well, it was, but it was also her kids' room too. But she was like upset. Like she was trying to hide it from me. And I'm 22, and this is in 1990, I think. And I'm like, why is she so wigged out there? She thinks I'm 22. I'm not gonna marry you. I like fucking you, but I'm definitely not, because I was fucking other chicks too at the same time. But she was really upset that I found out. She's like, I was gonna tell you, and she was like tearful about it too, because there is a natural, innate revulsion, or I won't say hesitation, for men to get with a woman who already has reproduced with another man, right? Because those offspring are now his responsibility. Those offspring are now a resource drain. Not only does he have to produce surplus resources for himself, for his kids, and for her, he has to do it for another man's children. And basically, he's helping that man's DNA go off into perpetuity, where he gets off with that. And the best thing in the world is like, you spreading the seed, right? Get a beta male to take care of those guys. Primates do this too, right? Get the beta males to take care of your offspring so you can fuck more hoes, right? And put babies in them and get more beta males to take care of them. They take care of the provisioning and not the protection, but the provisioning and the parental investment side of the beta buck side of everything. As I said, like fucking primates, everything from silverback gorillas to macaque monkeys do exactly the same fucking thing. And they also participate in infanticide. And I'll tell you, you want a real eye opener when that alpha male primate, that chimp, that gorilla, whatever, when that new alpha male comes in there and defeats, and in some cases literally tears the previous one limb from limb, that guy comes in there and he takes his harem. And what happens is he goes in there and he kills off all of the offspring that he can tell are the former offspring of the rival. And that has the effect of sending the female apes into estrus. And they want to have, then now they're hot for him. And they prefer the guy who just ripped their father of their progeny limb from limb. That's how it works. You want to know, like women, like I had this one, I should put the video up here. There's this one video that I have about how like women love bad boys. You want to know why women like dark triad personality traits? It's exactly that same dynamic. It's the guy, it's the alpha male monkey that can go and rip the other monkey limb from limb. And that makes them hot. They can't explain why. Well, it's because it's the fucking natural order of things. It's evolution. It's evolutionary. We got to have, well, you're the superior monkey. You killed off all the baby monkeys from the last monkey. So now they go into estrus and they have more superior monkeys, right? Or at least, I mean, figuratively so, logistically so. And by the way, it's not just primates. Like lions will do this too. Yeah. Like higher order mammals will do this.
Rodents do this too.
Yes.
Same with, yeah. Lemurs.
It's ugly. It's the ugly side of, I can't believe it. God would never make monkeys do that. No, that's how it works. Right? And some of that stuff like has filtered into the male and female psyches. That's why. Now, can we control that? Do we not have personal responsibility? Yes, of course we do. We have laws that prevent mommy's new boyfriend from killing off your kids, okay? But that doesn't mean they're going to be treated equally to his kids. Hell, even women will do that. They won't treat especially with daughters.
Yes.
Like if you're a man, if you're a single parent as a man and you have a stepmother come in, they will treat those daughters much differently than their own daughters. So something to keep track of. I don't make the rules. I just work here. I just work here, man. I just tell you the facts, nothing but the facts. I've seen chicks perform attempts to see if a guy will be responsible or lead in a relationship. Okay. The guy typically fails and gives the authority to the chicks, and not even see she wants him to lead her. Yeah. Well, that would be technically considered a passive shit test. Active shit tests are when you first meet a girl. Like when you're first in the clubs, she wants to know that you can play the game. She wants to know that she's trying to figure out, is this guy really is he really an attorney? Is he really a surgeon? Or is he really a sandwich artist at Subway? Or is he a barista? He's just a really good bullshitter, right? And they want to know congruency. They want to know that the way that you're presenting yourself sort of physically is actually what your personality is about as well. And they want to know that you can play the game. They want a superior player of the game. And so that's why you get active shit tests. This passive shit tests are the ones where you're already in a relationship with that woman and she's trying to answer one question. Is he the best I can do? That's what it comes down to. You've seen that meme with Lois Lane or that one naked chick, and she's just fucked Superman, and Superman's in the bed, and he's got his super suit somewhere, and she's like, really the best I can do? That's the question that women are trying to answer, and that's why you get those. That's why you get those tests. So it's like, is he the best I can do?
Verification before the bet. Exactly.
And you fuck up. Remember, what is it? One oh shit erases 10 attaboys. Yeah. that didn't originate in the military. That's your bitch. Just finished The Ape That Understood the Universe by Dr. Steve Stewart Williams. I think it should be the red pill fundamental reads for all. I think so too, in this space, and doesn't get enough attention. I bring that book up more than I do Dr. David Buss.
Drink.
Drink. I think he has been compromised for quite some time. People love that name though. They love that name. Yeah. Okay. What do we got here? Update. What time is it right now? Are we 2 hours? We're not at 2 hours, but that's okay. I'll just give it to you now. We're going to be doing Access Vegas is going to be on this Wednesday on the 12th, and it will be with girls this time. I'm just looking at her texting me right now, but Tiffany Fox will be on that show. She's in Las Vegas. Your favorite and mine. Tiffany will be on. I'm thinking about doing a standalone show with Tiffany at some point because I've been promising her I was going to do it. So I think maybe that will be like maybe a 1 hour live stream I do sometime during this week, maybe Thursday. I think I might. I don't want to do it the day of, like Wednesday would be too much. So that's coming up. Also, I did a show with Mike Sartain and Andrew Willson, which I think Mike said he's going to release on Tuesday. So that's me, Mike, and Andrew Willson when we did an interview. It's really good. And part of that interview, part of that discussion, Andrew lays down the facts about what happened with Destiny, Lauren Southern, and Brittany Venti. And like I said, Andrew has always had my back in that situation throughout that whole situation because he knew, Destiny was full of shit. Right. In fact, I remember him being on panel shows where the first thing out of his mouth, like he was on there with Not So Erudite and Destiny and some other people are talking, and the first thing out of his mouth is, "Did you fuck Lauren Southern?" I was like, yes. And nobody, of course, he lets Not So Erudite like run cover for him. Don't worry. I only have one of these a week. I won't go the way of Kevin Samuels. Won't be getting rid of me that easy. Oh, you think so? I disagree. I won't be pushing religion anytime soon, my friend. Are you kidding? Do you follow me on Twitter? What?
How'd you extract?
Yes, because I'd be so believable. No, but I try to, like I said, I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about race. I don't talk about the Jews. I don't talk about religion as a standalone topic, right? You'll never see me pivot to any, there's guys that do that way better than me, right? Especially in the politics and stuff like that. I'm not so crazy that I would think that anybody would take me seriously if I started a political channel or if I started getting into conservative politics or whatever the hell it is. Or even if I was just right in the middle, right? I would never even bother doing that because there's so many people that just do it way better than I do, and they have a bigger following. And I'm not going to try to make a new hamburger and market it against McDonald's. Okay. But if it crosses over, into intersexual dynamics, religion's on the table. Any of those topics that I said before, like politics, race, whatever, I'll be happy to talk about those when we're talking about how they work with intersexual dynamics. Like right now, Christianity is lost, absolutely fucking lost. And I put that out there. Every time I talk about this, I put a passage, I quoted an excerpt from my book, Religion, my fourth book. And I thought it was timely because a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing going on right now, as I was saying before, like you got all these sort of Christian conservative women that are saying, you know, if men were nicer, if they weren't part of that red pill group, then we would vote the way you wanted us to vote. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't, because you're on the payroll of the DNC. But moreover, it's like it doesn't matter what your religion is, ladies. It doesn't matter what your political stripe or what race you happen to be or any of that shit. You're part of the sisterhood uber alles, the sisterhood before all else. That's what it is. I said this before. You take Megyn Kelly and you take like Rachel Maddow and you put them on the same show and they will fight like cats and dogs ideologically. They're like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, right? You put Rollo Tomasi on that same show, those bitches will put like arms together and they'll be like, we got to fight this guy. Like, we're going to fight him for the sisterhood, right? Because they're both feminists. They just approach feminism from different sides of the board. That's why traditional conservatism is the flip side of feminism, because the same goal applies. It's the empowerment and the betterment of women. And why are you saying this, Rollo? The sisterhood of Morales. Well, first of all, I've said it for ages now, but all you got to do is look at these women who have a real tough time when somebody mentions the idea of possibly repealing the 19th Amendment. Oh my God. Then we're going to lose our fucking shit. Oh my God, you mean I have to fuck and submit to my husband? That doesn't sound very, very, that doesn't sound like being a mighty woman of God, which is feminism for traditional conservative. Whenever I'm talking about how, like was it Nick Freitas? Who actually is not a bad dude, but like, I was watching some of his stuff he was interviewed recently by Ali Beth Stuckey, and he was saying, you know, the church has been feminized. And I'd say the same thing. You know, the church is fucking lost. And of course, the first thing out of anybody's mouth, well, that's not real Christianity. Not in the Orthodox, not in Catholicism, not in the conference of 1867. We had the schism between this pope and that pope was wrong and this pope was right. And so therefore we're the right. Everybody else is going to hell except for these guys in this little remote church on the coast of the Baltic Sea. They'll tell you that's where it is. And I love it how feminism hasn't infiltrated Islam. Yes, it has. Same thing with your Orthodox church, and same thing with Catholicism. It's funny how these same people will say, well, you know, feminism's not in the Catholic Church, but we really don't like the Pope because he keeps trying to he keeps trying to ordain female pastors or whatever it is. You know, I'm like, well, do you not? I think that if you gave it time, if you looked around with a critical eye, rather than sort of from a religious, like a really dogmatic religious perspective, you will see the influence of feminism in those organizations, in those religions to some degree. And if they're not, or if it's only like marginally so, give it a generation, because the popularity of other religions will end up decreasing the population of those other wokesy religions, right? It's what I call the Beyonce interfaith worship, church, right? I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Super church.
Yeah, Beyonce it was like right, but I think it was during COVID, and Beyonce actually had an interfaith service at some church in San Francisco, of course. And it was like, it doesn't matter what religion you are, just come here and Beyonce is going to like give you this, church and up kind of thing. But it's all about feminism. The whole thing is just like, all it is just one big, love fest for women. And like, that was pretty much my foray into how feminism has sort of assimilated the modern church. And the first thing anybody says is not in the Orthodox, not in the ecclesiarchy, not in the, not in the Adeptus Mechanicus. We worship the true machine God. And it's like, just even if I granted you that, just give it time. Because I guarantee you I could probably find something, right? And if not, you're still fighting an uphill battle. Like Orthodox Christianity only accounts for like 12% of Christians.
Protestants.
Well, it's those Protestant guys that are going to hell, not us. Okay, then what? There's never. I think that especially give Andrew too much shit, but I think if you're going to say, well, if we should just hand off marriage to the church, which church are we going to hand it off to? Apparently the Hindus, because they have a better track record than anybody. If it's going to be a religious thing, but of course it's always a pitch for whoever's religion, Orthodoxy, Catholicism, whatever. But I think we can all agree on one thing. Evangelicals have been cut. That's pretty much a given right now. And so Nick Freitas was talking about how the feminist influence has sort of taken over the church. And I'm just like, yeah, all you need to do is look at all of these quote unquote, female conservative influencers online saying, well, if you guys would stop following Andrew Tate and Nick Fuentes, who are red pill, that we would vote for the way you wanted us to vote. We would submit. No, you wouldn't. Are you kidding? You guys, like, even the word submission isn't in your vocabulary. And which, again, I don't want a woman to submit. I want her to willingly want to suck my dick, right? I want her to willingly want to be with me, like I've said this before, Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Like Eva Mendes said, I never wanted kids. I'm never going to have kids. I'm going to be a childless woman, whatever, blah, blah. Then she gets together with Ryan Gosling and they have love. She has, trust me, Eva Mendes, genuine desire. She's got it for Ryan Gosling. Okay. That's why I always use this as an example. And then she was in that one interview and she was saying, I didn't want kids until I got with Ryan Gosling and I wanted to have his babies. That's what I'm talking about. That's the level of desire you need. You want a strong, healthy marriage. She wants to have your babies, not like, oh, it's time for me to have kids. I want children in the future. No, I want your kids. Put a baby in me now. That's the level of desire you need from women. Not obligated compliance. Not like, oh, duty sex, so it's time to fuck my husband. No, you want Eva Mendes levels of desire, like time to fuck is any time. Show me your tits. Yes. That's the kind of desire you need to get. You want a healthy relationship. You want a good marriage. You need to have that level of desire from your wife and your husband, by the way. You guys are really into each other. Trust me, Eva Mendes, the hypergamous doubt, like, is he the best I can do? That's been settled. That has definitely been undisputedly settled. Okay. So that's a good illustration. So when people say that level, that doesn't exist, it's only about just pay her off. Have fun with your prostitutes because you will never experience Eva Mendes levels of desire. And what's funny is, like, I had to learn that from being in a band.
Yeah, seeing women actually genuinely
seeing women. Like, I was the guy. Remember, I always used the hot guy in the phone can party.
Rollo was the hot guy in the phone can party.
I remember it. I remember the day that when did you get red pilled? I remember I was playing a gig and it was like a kind of I guess it was a festival. It was a hall gig, a festival gig. It was in the summertime. And we were playing there with probably 3 or 4 other bands. And so we were the headliners, actually, which was great. And I almost missed the gig. I almost missed the set because I had 2 girlfriends at the time. One of them happened to be there, and she pulled me into. Well, I mean, we had the green room and stuff that was there. She pulled me into the women's bathroom, and like her and one of her friends like went on me, right? And I was like, damn, this is fucking great. That this was the moment. This was the time I realized that women actually can have, because I didn't have fucking anything, man. I had a pickup truck, I had a Randall half stack, I had 2 guitars and my pedal effects. Those are my liquid assets. The brokest I'd ever been in my life was the time I got the most pussy in my life. So I know it's not money. Okay? It might be status. I mean, there might certainly, you got to be in a good band. You got to have like at least some kind of like, she's got to want to be with the character that you are, right? But that's when I realized women actually dig on sex. You don't have to like sit there and hope for the best and like spoon her for a while and make her feel comfortable. No, that was pretty urgent and quick in that bathroom, right? So when I went through that experience, that's when I realized that that women will fuck you because they just want to fuck you. Right? And it wasn't about, making sure the barometric pressure in the room was right. You know, I had to light some candles, and, you know, I got some pillows from Bed Bath and Beyond. You know? And everything was perfect. We have sprinkled rose petals all over. I certainly wasn't doing that in my 1-bedroom studio apartment in North Hollywood. Yeah. Oh, Rollo's humble bragging. No, I'm just giving you an example of the possibility that you might be wrong about the transactional nature of sex, right? It does happen. guys with the sport fucking gene.
Well, Rollo, it doesn't happen to me, so it doesn't happen at all.
So it must not happen to everybody. Well, I will tell you right now, for the vast majority of men, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's you've got to figure out how to pick those locks. How can I figure this out? How can I do an end around to all this stuff? Right? Oh, it was a different time then, Rollo. Yeah, but chicks' nature didn't change in the late 80s, early 90s. I'll tell you that right now, because I know girls now and I knew girls then. It was exactly the same shit. I mean, the context was different, sure, but the nature didn't change at all. There you have it. What is it? Do you want me to get that one? I'll get that one. Is this it? Okay. See, I will even read your chats if I don't get a thing. Glad, Rollo, your marriage lasted 30 years. Well, it's still lasting. My parents still married in their 80s and 90s, married over 60 years. Not the case today. Divorce hurts men and keeps us from our children. Yes, I 100% agree. And as I said before, that's why people get confused with me. They're like, Rollo's anti-marriage, but he's got a great marriage. How come he doesn't promote marriage? Isn't it the greatest thing in the world? Yeah, it's a great institution, especially when you got somebody who's, you know, ride or die. That's great. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say there's no risks involved. Hell, James Sexton alone is a pretty good advocate for that. Like Jim Sexton, you know, he's like, I want to believe in marriage. I want to believe in love. I want to believe in all this fairy tale romantic stuff because I've seen it happen. It works great for me and my wife. It's awesome. I enjoy being married. People don't understand that, but I do. I got another concept I need to talk about here. Maybe now's the time to do it, but I'm not against marriage. I'm just against the way we do it now. I'm just against like all the shit that that CGA was bringing up as his arguments for not getting married and all this other stuff. Dude, why don't you go fuck yourself? How about this? How about I go and just dress the way I want to dress, right? Can we do that? Who are you to comment on other people's relationships and sex? I'm Rollo fucking Tomasi. I've written 6 books about that. That's who I am. You have no education that makes you a teacher or facilitator. Do I need one? Do I need that?
Here's a link. Get a book.
Do I need that? Is the real question. Here's the thing. People feel, this is great, actually. You're an insecure, lonely man. No, I'm not. I told you I've been married for 30 fucking years, man. So you're upset about, why does this bother you? Why? Why does the beanie? I'm going to shave my head before the new year, by the way. Why does this bother you? It bothers you because what I'm saying is true, and something rings true. I'm not going to run you up the flagpole, bro, because I've had guys do the same thing, and then they'll come back and go, "Dude, everything you said was right." Like I've had guys who have been my biggest fucking haters become my biggest like friends later on because they go through something else. So I'm not the kind of guy that's going to like throw you under the bus because of shit like this. But ask yourself this: why does it bother you? Like you took the time. That's a big ass fucking tweet, man, or a big ass chat right there. You took the time to write all that out. So something must be bothering. So what is it? Right? Well, I love it when I get this. They will say, "Well, Rollo, you don't have a doctorate." I have a BA or a BS in behavioral psychology. I have a BFA and I have a BS in psychology. I have 2 degrees actually. Does that mean you shouldn't be talking to people?
Wait, Rollo.
Does it mean Nick Fuente shouldn't be, or Andrew Tate and them shouldn't be? And I think about how many people don't have a degree or teaching credentials that are on YouTube or on, we call them influencers, right? Like name a guy who should. Joe Rogan. Does Joe Rogan have a?
Do I have to have a degree?
Do I have to have a degree? Right. Well, what's funny to me is like these are the same people, usually the same people that say, men don't need to go to college. It's a waste of time. You can learn everything you need to know on YouTube and online right now. And you should just focus on yourself, man. Chase excellence. Build your business. You should be an entrepreneur. You don't need all that church. You don't need all that schooling and stuff. You don't need a degree. Apparently I do, because I can't talk to you unless I have a fucking degree. So if I make up your fucking minds, do I need an education or do I not need an education? Or if it's I love it that whenever it's like Dr. Taylor Burroughs or like some of these other, like Dr. Richard Reeves, Dr. Dr. Glover, that's Dr. Phil. You know, these guys have doctorates. Do you think they should be? Do you think they should be mouthing off about stuff? Like, do you agree with just because they have it's credentialism is what it is. Just because they have the credentials that they're okay and I'm not. What am I saying that you disagree with is really the question here. All love, but CGA was right against Andrew. I think on some things he was. I think it's wrong. I think it's like he would have been so much better if he just would have stuck to points. But like Andrew got under his skin, and then CGA got under Andrew's skin, and so then you got this sniping back and forth. It was good for the first like half hour, 45 minutes, and then it's just like this personal attacks after that. And I'm like, come on, guys, you guys are both better than this. I want to see them both succeed. I want to see them both do good. And that's not just me being like Mike Sartain diplomatic. I'm serious. Like, I think like when CGA talks about divorce and what's entailed in divorce and you know, like I said, I'm really against the way we do it now. CGA is not wrong when it comes to divorce and what he talks about. And Andrew understands those things. I just think his solutions are one-sided. It's all about religion, right? Like Eastern, well, I don't know, Orthodox, what is the word? Orthodox Christianity is infallible. And so therefore they should be the arbiters of all marriage, and social pressures. Social pressures from women on other women will keep them in line. In this day and age, in the 21st century, where we have social media, we have only like if Andrew had started off by saying we should ban OnlyFans, we should ban pornography, we should ban, like if you started with those and then you get women down to like you distill it down and reduce it, you know, reductionist, reduce it all the way down, and then we need the church to come in and be the arbiters of the marriage, and if there's problems in the marriage, then they need to tell women to fuck their husbands, whatever it is. And I think one of the reasons that is avoided in conversation is because it's untenable. There's no realistic way you're going to do something like that. And I think the idea that social pressures of like sort of women who are on team orthodoxy versus the women who are not, I don't think that is as foolproof as you know Andrew would like to make it. But that's his faith. So I can't shit on his faith because it's what he's going to believe. He's going to play the God card no matter what. Like that's why I don't like getting into religious conflicts or religious quote unquote debates, because you always play the God card at the end, right? Well, I think marriage is, I did this with Dr. Everett Piper. So, you know, I believe in marriage, obviously, as an institution. I think it's the bedrock and the foundation of Western societies, understood. Religious, great. I think we should be able, I agree with Andrew on that. I think we should be able to have, take the state out of it, but you'll never do that because it takes away all the fail safes for women and women's empowerment. And it will seem like misogyny, if not really be misogyny, for taking away, well, we got to take women's right to vote away. We need to make women 100% dependent on men. That's religiously. We need them to believe in a religion that puts men in the headship of that relationship. And maybe you're right. Maybe that's what necessarily has to happen. But is it tenable? Are we actually going to do that? No. Repeal the 19th. Good luck. You know how long I've been hearing repeal the 19th? Oh, that'd be great. Okay, so okay, great. I think it's an awesome idea. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Got no fucking idea. It's like asking Antifa, once the revolution is over, how do we restart society? They don't know. They just want to fuck shit up. That's all they want to do. They just want to cause havoc. Well, we're fighting for freedom and our rights. Okay, you win. You won. Ideal situation. It's all gone. You've wiped out the U.S. government, right? What now? Who's going to be the leader? Who's going to keep the lights on? Who's going to go work on the oil derricks? Who's going to go and, you know, how do you restructure society after the revolution and the anarchy and the destruction of Western civilization? What's your plan for, you know, reconstituting the world society after that? No one has a plan. What do you do after the revolution? I don't know. I just want to smash in the front doors of Wells Fargo and take all the money out of the ATMs so I can participate in this society even more. Can the sexual marketplace experience a crash like other markets? Yes, it can. Or does pussification have no limits? If so, what will the crash look like? I think what you're actually asking me, Remy, is where is the what is the critical mass for feminism or the sexual marketplace? I don't know. That's the thing. And anybody who's telling you that they have the answer is usually answering from an ideological perspective rather than really thinking this through. I think the only person who could tell us that is Aaron Clary, because I think he's the only dude who's done the math and done the numbers on this. But the reason why I say that is I think people would like to tell you from sort of an ideological perspective what would happen. But the truth of the matter is that if there ever is a quote unquote crash in the sexual marketplace, it will be because of technology or because of a natural disaster or because of warfare. You're not going to you're not going to be concerned with the sexual marketplace when you're fighting a war or when you're cleaning up the aftermath of the meteorite you guys keep hoping hits Earth, or the natural disaster or the drones came in and had a massacre or something like that. You're going to be focused on that and not the sexual marketplace. Everybody loves this. It's like whenever there's a COVID or whenever there's a mass casualty event of some sort, people love to go feminists before the mass casualty event and after it's they're baking pies and they turn into this traditional female, like that's what they always should have been or that's what they always are, just sort of in true nature. And the fact of the matter is it still took a tragedy and some violent upheaval of society to bring that on. Well, you're going to be dealing with that first. Okay. So that's what the crash looks like. The crash looks like the meteor destroying the earth is what it looks like. Professor Rollo, your thoughts on Indian H-1Bs stereotyped as losers with women and seemingly harmless until 2024, but suddenly becomes invaders and job stealers in 2025. What changed? I think our mass appeal of immigration has definitely changed. I have also said on several occasions that if I could come up with some kind of outreach for guys who are like these Indian dudes who come over from India and they bust their ass. Like they come over here and they learn, they are some of the better coders. They go to Silicon Valley, whatever. And they think they're going to be fucking Pamela Anderson. It's the land of Pamela Anderson. They all want the centerfold, the big tits, the blonde hair and the blue eyes.
They want their snow bunnies.
And all they have to do is work harder than anybody else. They have to code better, faster. And I'll
flip my field.
And I hate that this is the way, but I've got to tell you the truth. I hate that this is how it is because I love my Filipino brothers. I love my Asian brothers. I love my Indian brothers too. And you guys got your work cut out for you. I'm going to tell you right now, because once the sexual marketplace went global, your women wanted to fuck different dudes, right? They're entitled to fuck a white guy or a black dude who's 6'1", has a dick down to his knees and is yoked, has visible serrats, and is the Hollywood star, is a rapper, is an athlete, is an actor, is like that. You got your work cut out for you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that, it's an uphill battle. And I really wish I could come up with some sort of like outreach or some sort of plan to help you guys in that respect. The first thing I would do is like let's have some realistic expectations. That would be the first thing I do, because tend to be shorter, tend to be like Indian guys. I think it was Mike Sartain was saying they tend to be more overweight because of the diet over in India.
Carb heavy.
Carb heavy.
Same with Mexicans.
Are there ways to accommodate that or to deter that? Yes, there are. You have to want to do that and to do that work, but it's just the stigma, I'm afraid to say. So that was then. What's now? I think they're seeing you as the other. They're seeing you as the invader because it's easier. Like everybody's an outsider. Everybody's a tribe this, tribe that. And I quite honestly, I grew up in like Los Angeles in some pretty rough places in LA. And it's like, you can't be racist in LA. I know Koreans, I know Asians, I know brothers, I know Latino. Hell, I got my ethnic right here.
Our token Mexican.
I love Mexican food, like real Mexican food, not Matt Walsh Mexican food. I love this man's Mexican food is what I love. You know, so Filipinos. So my best friend is Filipino. Yeah. Andrew lied. People in his church do not do non-state marriages. It's a bad look if we defend people. How have to lie to convince men to leave the red pill? I think we should work on our English first. Like people like have to abbreviate. You think as you're doing a $5 super chat, dude, would it kill you to do a $10 set? Make it like English. I mean, you've already given me a ton of fucking supers, and by the way, on Access Vegas. Okay, fine. Tell them. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they don't do non-state marriages, whatever. I'm just saying that I think we need to reassess what a solution looks like. Is it a religious solution? Is it, quite honestly, I think it's a societal thing. And I don't think that's going to change anymore. I think we need to, instead of going backwards and saying, we need to get back to the good old days when the church ran everything and they were doing it successfully. Yeah, this is 2025. This is the 21st century. How are we going to do that going forward? You can't back into the future. I love you, brother. Lead on. I will. Wait. Oh man, my things are off.
I hold up one second.
Yeah, they died. God damn it. Just right when I had the perfect moment.
All right, how about now?
It's not on yet. They want Pamela Anderson. Well, they better learn to start putting deodorant on first. Those guys have odor stronger than skins. Well, that's another thing you've got to compensate for. Okay, guys, seriously, the curry is not doing you any favors. Okay, you want it. Like, what gets me is like, in some ways, it's almost like I can't say that pill, the B pill, the Negro pill, the Noir pill. Maybe I can get away with that because algorithm is blocking the I won't say it, the color black and pill together. It's blocking those. So, but it sounds like really nihilistic, right? Well, the thing is, like, how bad do you want it? Remember when I was when I was pushing the clip when Mystery said women are more important than money? Okay, here's a good example of it. Are you willing to change things so that you can get Pamela Anderson? If the answer is no, then you're going to have to reassess your expectations. Let's say you get action with a bad chick. Okay, hypothetical. How do you get her to be monogamous and build a family long-term to not be 44 and divorced? How do you beat hypergamy if it's possible? Well, here's what you do. You become the guy that other men want to be and other women want to bang. That's what you do. You've got to be the best thing that she has going. The other thing is this, is don't think of hypergamy as a straitjacket, okay? You are going, when you're 44, are you better at 44 than you were at 24? Can you honestly say that? How about most men? Most men are in that 80th percentile that are invisible to women. What are you going to do to get yourself out of that 80% category, to get even to the 20% category? Not to say anything about the 4.5% category, the elite status guys. What are you doing to get to that point? Are you going to live up to your burden of performance? And I don't even want to say burden of performance at this point. I want to say your potential. I have an essay. It's in book 2. It's called The Curse of Potential. I don't want to be at the end of my life and meet the guy I could have been had I made other choices, had I done these things, right? Had I maximized, had I not played World of Warcraft and jerked off all the time, right? Had I not been into, prescription opioids and smoking too much weed, right? I don't want to meet that guy. I want to be the best I can fucking be at the end of my life and go, Lord, here's what I did. You come in from the backyard and you got to tell your dad, your big daddy, what you did all the time when you were in the backyard, right? I want to be able to say I did the best I could do. I stopped drinking. I fucking put on X amount of muscles. You started my own business. I had a kick-ass wife. Thank you for that. I have doing all this stuff. You have to be, the game doesn't fucking end, man. I hate fucking questions like this because it's like, what do I have to do? The best you fucking can. That's what you have to do. I'm going to go David Goggins on you. Stay fucking hard.
Hold on, I got that.
That's what you have to do. Yeah, give me David Goggins.
It falls apart in your life, and your plan is fucked up. What the fuck are you gonna do? There's only one motherfucking option. Stay fucking hard.
That's what you have to do. You have to be the best that she can get. And I don't care what you do. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're, Indian or Asian or Filipino, whatever the fuck it is. Maximize your potential. That's what you can do. I don't want to be divorced at 44. Then don't get fucking married. Like, just be the best you can fucking be. But she's going to want to fuck other guys. She's got hypergamy. Hypergamy, like, you got to remember that the woman who you meet at 23 is not the woman you meet at 33 or 43 or 53. Hypergamy only, like, do you think that a woman who is like at 23, she's going to be, and she's like a fucking 8 or 9, do you think she's going to be 8 or 9 at 33? How about 43? Time has a way of sort of dropping that intrinsic value.
Big ego check.
Maybe she's fucking ballooned. There are lots of variables that fuck with hypergamy. You have to remember that. The thing is like all these doomers and all these fucking despondent, nihilistic kids think that hypergamy is that I'm not going to go out and do anything because I'll never be the best at it. Stop it. Stop trying to find fucking ways to step on your dick. Stop trying to find ways of not going out, not being better than you actually are. That's all it is. Hypergamy is not a straight jacket. There are lots of things. Like a woman who's like hot and sexy at 23 and suddenly at 27, she's put on like 60 pounds. Do you think her expectations, do you think she's still going to want to get with the best she can get with? But do you think that she's still the same? No, she's not. How about this? You're 25 and you ain't shit. And then you get to be 35 and you made partner in a law firm and you still look, you're 12% body fat and you've got
Harvey Specter.
You're Harvey Specter and you got, semi bodybuilder status, whatever like that. How does that affect hypergamy? No, it doesn't matter. Fuck you. Go out and do something. I'm sick to death of that. Doomish. Yeah, doomish. It's doomish.
Oh, that one video I sent over.
It's fucking great, man. I don't know. Yeah. Do I have another one? I think I did it. Is that it? They want Pamela Anderson. They do, man. I don't know what it is, man. Like Indian guys, is it like all you like watch is like blonde, master race porn? Because I'm wondering. All right. So today's topic, by the way, is responsibility without authority. Where did that come from, Rollo? Oh, I will tell you. When it comes to playing to win versus playing not to lose, would you rather take a guaranteed $4 million for 10 years of work or $8 million with a 25% risk of failure? I would, of course, take the $4 million. Who wouldn't? Dude, I could parlay $4 million into $8 million.
Just throw it all on red.
Inside of a week, man. What are you talking about? Yeah. Would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? Neither. Let's see. So I have this video that you all need to see. Okay, so let's file this under origins of the red pill. I've said this on several occasions, responsibility without authority is slavery. I'm going to give you the setup for this. Authority, 100% authority without any responsibility is tyranny. Understand what the opposite of that is. So 100% responsibility with 0% authority, that's slavery. Those are the definitions of those fucking words. Okay. You don't have to be responsible for anything, but yet you have 100% authority over whatever. Like circumstances be damned. Somebody else is going to take the fall. Doesn't matter. That's tyranny. And so when we look at things like gynocentrism, Like women, like I think conservatives get too hung up on the idea of feminism. Feminism is just the ideological branch of gynocentrism. Gynocentrism is the social order itself. It places the female experience above everything else. The sisterhood of Morales, it places it above everything else. Men are subhuman in a gynocentric social order. So when we like, there's always something wrong with men. It's always their fault. So when I'm talking about, when we're talking about authority versus responsibility, like a lot of people say, well, men are always empowered. They have all the responsibility, they have all the authority. They can do whatever they want to. Well, I think a lot of people think of that in terms of like in the family structure, right? Well, men should be there. We already have the authority. We just don't take it. Well, try taking it. Try exercising that authority and let's see how it works out for you. The reason why it's a popular meme right now, and even Nick Fuentes is quoting it to Tucker Carlson, and they say, well, it's mic drop time. Yeah, well, mic drop for TFM, not for me, not for anybody else, not for Myron, not for Nick Fuentes. It's for Turtling Monkey who brought this up, okay? He's the one who parsed this out before anybody else did. So don't think that Nick's some brilliant guy. He's just parroting back what he heard from Myron, who parroted it back from me, who parroted it back from Turtling Monkey. Okay, so at least I know the chain. It's the telephone game, and it finally got to Nick, who's at the end of the line, right? But that's the difference. So when we're looking at gynocentrism, it is a social structure by women for women that is based on four principles or four pillars, right? It is the blank slate. It is social constructionism, egalitarianism, and emotionalism. Those are the four pillars of gynocentrism. You take out one of those things, and whatever your pet ideology is, wokeism. I know Helen Anderson has been talking about how the female psyche, the female way of organizing society. If you put women into positions of political and social power, you get the woke. Women are woke. Women are the woke. The female perspective, the female interpretation of social problems, of psychology, of politics, of economics, name the field of entry or field of inquiry, name it. And if there's a woke interpretation of it, it all traces back to the female psyche. Women organize society in the round. It is all about communitarianism. It is not about hierarchies. It is about community. That's why socialism seems like a good deal. That's why communism seems like a good deal. That's why even the early suffragettes were on board with Marxism back then, because it seemed like it dovetailed really nicely. Oh, we're all going to be equal? Great. Women too? Well, except for black women, except for because they were still very, very, even Katie Stanton was very racist. Susan B. Anthony, very racist. So votes for women, unless they're black, then no. But it wasn't so much about the politics or the race or anything. It was just basically they wanted power, and that was seen as a way of soft power back then. So I trace feminism back to the reason I brought up Katie Stanton is because I trace it back to the Seneca Falls Convention in 1848, which I think is largely agreed on as like sort of the beginning of the suffragette movement. And so those were the quote unquote first wave feminists, which there was no waves. They're still the same impetus. It's still a supremacy movement. So it's female supremacism is all it is. They had a goal, which was getting the 19th Amendment ratified, which took one vote from the senator. That's from some mama's boy in Tennessee. I can't remember the dude's name, but the story is that they were going to have the right, they was on the ballot. They were going to say, votes for women. They were going to ratify the 19th Amendment for the Constitution. And it was one senator it was on August 18th, 1920, and I forget the guy's name, one guy from Tennessee, and his mom was a suffragette. His mother was a women's rights kind of thing. She wrote him a personal letter, put it in his pocket. He read it, and it was like, vote for women. And so he was the one that there was one vote by one beta male. It would have been in a deadlock. It had it not before that one guy who was going to vote against it. And then his mom said, vote for it. He did. And the rest is history. And so up until that point, from like 1848, 1849, I think it was, for Seneca Falls, you're looking at about a 70-year history. Like if you just round it off to like 1850 to 1920, you're looking at 70 years And it wasn't just a United States thing. It was also a UK thing. And the suffragettes were considered terrorists. They bombed police precincts. They planned political assassinations. They were very, as I said, they're very racist. So it was very much a supremacism movement. And you got to remember that voting was a much different prospect back then. You had to have skin in the game. I mean, that was the idea anyways. Now, we've changed since then. You know, everything, like an 18-year-old girl on TikTok has the same political power as a 45-year-old man with 2 kids, 1 wife, owns his own business, and has a golden retriever in his front yard. Like, he has the same political power as that 18-year-old girl shaking her ass on TikTok. That's not that's not how the founders envisioned voting for, like, everybody gets a vote. No, you had to have skin in the game. In fact, women have more political power, more political rights than men do, because men have to sign up for selective service to be eligible to participate in politics, right? Women don't have to do that. So if you have a penis, you have to qualify for it through risking your life versus women who already have it automatically. And that's what I wanted to sort of get at here before I started launching into this, is that I've been kind of bouncing this idea around. And it comes back to what Tristan Tate said about simping. And if, as you recall, Tristan Tate said that simping is an unequal exchange of value between a man and a woman, right? And so we get these conversations. I think you hear it on whatever podcast, you'll hear it on Myron and Fresh, and they'll be like, what do you bring to the table? Even Andrew Willson, when he was talking to Tommy Lahren, this is like kind of when it was a germ of the idea. And Tommy Lahren was speechless because she couldn't think of anything that was an upside for men in marriage, or anything was an upside to sort of like the arrangement that we have between, like, men need to do this and they need to do that. They need to live up to this potential. They have this laundry list of things. And Andrew had one simple question, which was, what's in it for men? And she was just like rage stricken, right? She was just like, rage quit, because she couldn't come up with an answer. It was just like, get this pussy. But she couldn't say on Piers Morgan, you get this pussy. That wasn't going to come out of her mouth. But like, so what does she do? She shames him for like even asking the question. A real man wouldn't ask that question. Well, do you have an answer for it? Okay, I won't be a real man, but do you have an answer for it?
Time to derail the conversation.
Time to derail. Yeah, emotional reframe. Couldn't answer it, because between men and women, there will never, and ladies, I hate to break this to you, especially if you're one of these conservative chicks that was on Twitter, I'm gonna speak in a language you can understand. There will never be a state of equality between men and women. It will never happen. And the reason because that is because one sex, the male sex, is expected to die for the other sex, for the female sex. Now, so that's written into our DNA. It's written into our code. It's the male protector instinct, right? So when a mass shooting event happens, like here in like Vegas or something like that, and guys are like jumping in front of live ammunition to protect, to put their body between a woman they don't know and live ammunition. They couldn't tell you why they did that. It's just instinctually they do it, right? If they have time to think about it, you know, they might. But when in the moment, you know, like was it James Holmes in the Aspen, Colorado theater shooting? Men put themselves physically in front of women they didn't know to take a bullet for that woman. They died, she lived. There can never be an equal exchange of value. Never. I don't care. Come up with anything you have to say. Well, we give you babies and life. Okay, but I die. But I die for you. Because it's an instinctual thing. It's an evolutionary thing. But even if whether I would die for my wife, I would die for my daughter, right? I die. There is no possible way my wife can come up with an equal exchange of value. I retired her almost 5 years ago, right? She is financially dependent on me. My decisions matter to her life. My success is her success. She's invested in my success. How many women would be willing to sign, even if the guy could do that? If a guy says, don't worry, baby, I got you. Everything is good. I'm going to take care of you. I've got enough money for us both. I'll take care of the dogs and your mother-in-law, whatever, all this stuff. I'll do that. Most women wouldn't even do that. They would, I still need my career. I want my OnlyFans. I want I need my Instagram. Protection. I need my job. I need my fail safe. Because you know why? Because you're with a guy you don't have any real desire for. If you did, you'd be like Eva Mendes. I want your babies. Fucking take care of me. I'm all about it. Yes, please do. You don't trust. Like we have had 4 generations of women who have been taught that men are inherently are untrustworthy. Never trust a man. And if you do, you better have some backup. You better have your own slush fund, right? You better be like what Akash Singh. His money's my money and my money's my money. That he's probably, maybe he's paying for her way, but it's her money is her money and his money is her money too, basically. So would you be willing to give up all of that? Would you be willing to trust a guy with your future? My wife is. She's down. She's down for everything because she definitely has genuine desire for this guy. But the thing is like in a gynocentric social order, in the state of humanity, there is no fucking possible way there can be an equal exchange of value. So I think, and I'm, not to shit on Tristan Tate, but like thing is, I think we need to reassess what simping actually is. So it's like my dogs, like and I don't mean to compare women to dogs. I'm just saying like my dogs, what do they bring to the table? I got to feed these fucking dogs. I pick up their shit. But I get something intangible out of Ned, out of Anna. I like my dogs. I've had so many dogs. I can't even, they're like, Anna is number 9.
Oh my God.
My 9th greyhound.
I've only had like 4 dogs. So
yeah. Well, they have a very short shelf life. Yeah. But what do I get? It's all make it rain for the greyhounds, But what do I get out of it? Nothing. What do you bring to the table, Ned? Woof. Woof. That's what you bring to the table. Fuck. Do something. Like how do I say that? I don't. How do you say that to a woman? I am the table. No, you're not, because I would die. I have to die for you first. Maybe you die later, but I have to die for you. It's expected for me to go down with the ship. Women and children first. I'm last. I have to go down with the ship. I have to die. That's why I hate this comparison of like, well, there has to be a captain of the ship, and then there's the first mate, and she should be your first mate, and you should always she should always be able to tell you this stuff and everything. Oh, yeah, but the thing is the captain goes down with the ship. The first mate can jump ship and go get on a better ship, right? Captain doesn't get to do that. You go down with the ship. You have to die for her. And most guys, especially the doomers, will say, I don't die for any bitch. Okay, fine. But the expectation is there. The instinct is there. So with that in mind, how is there ever going to be an equal exchange of value? There's never going to be it. You can't. Even if she is like paying all your bills and you got a sugar mama, you're still expected to die for her. Intruders come into the house. Guess what? You go downstairs with a baseball bat and you get shot first. You're supposed to. Why? Because you're supposed to. A man's man would do that.
I mean, that's even a trope in shows where the wife would see that the man is not, quote unquote, man enough to protect her, and all of a sudden it becomes a big problem in the relationship.
Oh yeah. Well, like when remember back, it was a while ago. I think like back in 2023 when there was that rash of like guys that were like brothers that were going around and smashing like women in the face on the subways.
Yeah, it was.
And what was the first thing they said? Where are the men? How come the men aren't defending? Why? Are they supposed to? Yes, they are supposed to. That's why that's the go-to instinct, is to say, where are the men? Why aren't they doing this? You want to know why it's your fault if you cheat? Because you're the man. You're responsible. You have the responsibility. You know why it's your fault if she cheats? No, you weren't meeting her needs. She was unhappy. That's if you had been a better man, she wouldn't cheat on you. If you were a better man, she would want to fuck you. If you got right with God and you were walking in your faith or whatever, then she'd want to fuck you, because if mama ain't happy, it means God's not happy, right? So the thing is you are a sacrifice no matter what. You're expected to die. You're expected to sacrifice your wants and your everything else for the betterment of this woman. That's why whenever I post this, I say, men, gentlemen, I put this on Twitter. You do not owe women a better life. People lose their fucking minds every time I do that. I love putting that out there too, because it just fucks with people's understanding of, well, men, because what do you mean? I should give her what about my mom? What about my wife? If she earns it, then you don't owe her you don't owe her shit. You don't owe women anything, especially now. But why does that mess with people's minds? Why does that? Because it fucks with the fundamental order of things. I think on some level of consciousness, men understand that they are supposed to die for their women. And in that state, there will never be equality between the sexes. When one has to die for the other, that's it. End of story. No equality. So going forward, what do we do about that? All right, let me get these. When it comes to playing to win, okay, I got that one. Male protector dynamic equals male simping dynamic. Does it, or is it by order of degree? Help me figure this out, because I'm not giving you any answers. I'm just asking questions that I want to think about and contemplate and sort of sort through. I brought this up with Andrew Willson and Mike Sartain on the show that I did with the two of them that's coming out on Tuesday. I proposed this. I wanted to propose it on Access Vegas, but I couldn't get a word in fucking edgewise. But how can there ever, what do you bring to the table? Me dying? Okay, you win.
My life.
Yes, my life, because that's what's expected of me. A real man sacrifices. A real man puts up with shit. A real man takes it on the chin. And if you even bring this up, if you have a problem with this, or even you just analyze it, you're complaining. That's what it is. Like, I can't get around it. Okay, well, I'm supposed to be the sacrificial one. Then anything you say means that I have more value than you. It's just the way it's going to work. Men will always have more intrinsic value than women as long as they are expected to die for that woman. And I mean, die also could be sacrificial, whatever else you want it to be. But yes, male protector dynamic. So the other thing gets me is but by order of degree, what then becomes simping, right? Talking to a woman, reading her Instagram, what's simping? Paying for tipping her on OnlyFans? I would say that's simping. Okay. But if you're going to define it as an unequal exchange of value, then everything is simping. Everything on planet Earth is simping. Me doing this, I might want to get maybe some chick will see these big bulging biceps and she'll want to fuck me. Oh, then you're simping. It could be something completely unrelated to intersexual dynamics. So the only reason you are, a plumber is because you want women to like you.
It's like I can't be nice now.
Yeah, you can make anything out of it. So simping can be anything because there's never going to be an equal exchange of value. Amazon KDP has no print facilities in Australia and so doesn't print or store hardcovers in Australia. Ryan's hardcover published in January is still unavailable in Amazon AU. How do I get your hardcover books? Good question. Find somebody in the United States to buy up a bunch of them and send you one. That's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to stockpile my own hardcovers so I can actually ship them to someone else. Apparently that's going to be the case. I don't know, man. Talk to KDP, like bring it up with Amazon and say, hey, there's some hardcovers I'd really like to buy, but I can't get them. The best I can do, Joe, is stockpile them myself and send them out, which I might have to do. I know, kind of frustrating, isn't it? Women in Western civilization don't deserve protection, in my opinion. Yes, maybe they don't deserve. Well, I gotta quote Clint Eastwood. Deserve's got nothing to do with it. It really doesn't. Deserve has not. Remove deserve from your vocabulary. The only women I'll protect are the ones who have a connection to me. Screw that. They're on their own. You get what you get what you ask for. You'll say that until you'll instinctually find yourself running in front of live ammunition in a active shooting event. I think people think, I would never do that. You might be surprised what you will instinctively do in a life or death situation. If you have time to think about it, you might not. But if you don't, you'll do it. Hey, whatever this is, I still don't have my fucking.
Is it not going out?
No, here, fix that.
I'll fix it right now.
Rollo, the Gulf countries have quadrupled the rate of publicity. It's hidden under health of mother or fetus abnormal. Flying to London. Public have the rate publicly? Quadrupled the rate publicly of abortion? Flying to London, Turkey is so cheap due to the high income of oil. Heck, woke and transgenderism is common among the elite here. Oh, it is. Interesting. Gulf countries have a quadruple rate of abortion, right? Health of the mother or fetus. Okay. Really? Do they have quadruple the rate of abortion there? You'd think it wouldn't be. Maybe Turkey, I could see, because everybody goes there for medical procedures and shit. Is this working? That's for your 50 Canadian dollars, where I'm sure it's very legal to get. Oh, God damn it.
Did it go out again? I'll be right.
I just pulled the plug. That'll be it. One of these days, I'm gonna like when I'm dead, I'm gonna leave my notebook because I have so many notebooks. I'm sure these will go for top dollar someday.
Publish them.
Some point. Damn it! It was working a second ago. Now it's off.
Here, 1 second. I'll get it going right now.
I did actually have it going. Let's see. Evolutionary speaking, men and women had similar chances of losing their life. Men through tribal warfare, women through giving birth. It's equal. Yeah, but who's expected to die? Women are not expected to die in childbirth. Okay, men are expected to die protecting women. I'll explain it to you since you brought up evolutionarily speaking. Okay, this goes back to what's known as the big head babies effect. Big head babies is human beings rely on intelligence, and therefore we have very big heads. Okay, you have to pass that head through the birth canal and have very wide hips, right? You also have to have all this complex, hardware in a woman to gestate a child, and it takes 9 months to do so. And then once that child is born, it takes probably about 7 years or so until that child has reached self-sufficiency. And as a result, that means that ancestrally speaking, women were in various states of either caring for very fragile children or they were pregnant. And that was pretty much their life. That's why whenever people want to argue with me about, oh, well, women weren't actually they were actually the hunters and not the gatherers. No, they weren't. You know why that's bullshit? Because women are the incubators of the next generation. So if we're going to populate the earth, women have to be pregnant and taking care of children. And so what do they need? They need men to be the protectors. They need to, and that's what they selected for. You want to know why women are attracted to muscularity? Because that indicated a good sign that man was able to protect her from fucking saber-toothed tigers or invading tribesmen. And if he died, then what happens? An invading tribe comes in and they take that woman and put her in and integrate her back into the women folk of their tribe. And now she's part of their tribe. And now, so she's got to adapt to that. It's the war brides dynamic, right? So you look at it from an evolutionary perspective, women are the vulnerable sex. They need, and children are very fragile. They need men to protect them too. And so if you've got this tribe full of women folk who are in various stages of pregnancy or nurturing or nursing or whatever else it is, and they might have time to go pick berries and, pick food and do whatever, keep community. That's why women's psyches are focused on community, because there's strength in numbers. If you're the vulnerable sex, you want to, hey, girls, we're vulnerable on our own. Let's at least get together and circle the wagons here. That's the basis of it. Men need to provide, protect, and be parentally invested in hopefully their own children, right? And so that pretty much decides the psyche of women when they're organizing society. It seems like a better idea if everybody is happy and there's a cohesive social collective. Men, on the other hand, are hierarchical, right? It's performance-based. You have a burden of performance, right? Where did that come from? Well, it came from the fact that men were the hunters. We had to go out. We had ranks. And Joe had to coordinate the hunt. And Jim is best with a spear. And John's best with a rock or whatever it is. I have, a bow and arrow. So you had this sort of like hierarchy of guys who had, who could be competent in certain skills, right? And that was set their value in that male hierarchy. And that hierarchy is what women would find attractive, because that's why women are more focused on status. This is the part that I don't think Helen Andrews really picks up in when she's talking about how the woke is women, which I agree with, but I don't think she rewinds the timeline all the way back to as far back as I do. I've been talking about this shit. I've been talking about this shit since 2009 on the SoSwap forums. Women organize society in communitarian collectives. Men organize society in hierarchies. And we have done so right up until the advent of hormonal birth control. So evolutionarily speaking, yes, women could lose their lives in childbirth, but it is men who are expected to lose their lives in tribal warfare, trying to hunt down wild boars. Have you seen a what is it? Chief of War with Jason Momoa?
I have not.
It's the history of the Hawaiian Islands
I
and the
know
tribal
Warhunter.
warfare that went on. Like, I didn't know this. All the islands in Hawaiian chain are named after the chiefs, are named after like Oahu and Maui, and like they're all named about after the tribes that were indigenous to those particular islands.
Okay.
And that I had no idea how fucking violent those guys were.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Very, very
and they would have to get in outrigger canoes to go and fuck with a guy like across the ocean.
Just the travel there was already dangerous.
I know. It's like, guys, get in the canoe. We're going to go fuck some shit up. Take their women, put them in the boats and swim them back. I'm like, and they were serious as fuck about that.
Yeah.
And so if you can point out, ladies, if you can point out to me a tribe of women who organize war parties to go over to another tribe and kill off all the women folk and take their husbands hostage and bring them back.
Let me see a woman's haka.
Trust me on when I say women are the vulnerable sex and women are not the hierarchical sex. Okay, there's no instances in history where women have put together war bands to go and invade another tribe to take the men folk and integrate them into their men folk. Matriarchy. No, that didn't happen. Let's see. What advice would you give for maintaining frame? I don't give advice. For maintaining frame in a relationship while married in the military. Should getting married not even be considered? While you're in the military, don't get married. Wait till you get out. Wait till you're done. Because I've talked to so many guys, especially in the Reignite program. It's like it's a divorce factory. Like especially it's a cottage industry for women to cruise the military bases, get the guys who are young and naive and everything. Like you could be on a deployment, they're fucking someone else. You come back and she's pregnant. She's got somebody else's kid, and now she has military benefits through you, and you're fucked. I would suggest don't even get married until you're done with your military service, unless you're a lifer, and then wait until you're 30 at the very least. But maintaining frame in the military is very difficult to do, especially if you're young. Because most guys enlist right when they're 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice shirt, Rollo. Yes, I got it. I bought Jake's Make Goth Great Again hat in black. Yeah, I hope I can catch him when he comes to Florida. Yeah, because he's in Florida now, I think. I believe he's in, this is my Jake Monroe shirt that I just got. Go, if you don't subscribe to Jake, you should. Jake Monroe, Munro. Grew up a Christian and am still, but it's honestly hindered my dating life, I'm sure. In 2026, I'm moving to Austin, Texas, and will attempt to spin plates. Please do.
Hell yeah.
You could still spin plates as a Christian. It's called dating non-exclusively. That doesn't mean you have to fuck every one of those girls. You could still be a good Christian guy, but expand your repertoire. Broaden your horizons. Nope, I care about mines alone. Okay, well, good for you, brother, man. All right, I got to do this or I will be remiss. This is too good. I keep this on my hard drive just for such an occasion. Now, I have presented this before, but I think I'm going to skim through it. I'm not going to go through the whole damn thing, but it's really good. So this is Responsibility Without Authority is Slavery. It's by Turd Flinging Monkey. That's where this came from. Not Nick Fuentes. Not even me. This came from Turd Flinging Monkey. I credit where it's due.
Hey everyone, this is Turd Flinging Monkey, and today we have something special. We're visiting our old friend Dennis Prager at PragerU.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
All right, well, let's get started.
Rape, murder, war. They all have one thing in common.
Okay, this is Allie Beth Stuckey, circa 2016, just so you know.
Men. Aggression, violence, ambition unchecked by conscience, all the stuff of toxic masculinity. right? And the solution is obvious. Make men less toxic. Make men less masculine. Make men more like women. But I'm here to tell you that that way of thinking is not only wrong, it's dangerous.
All right, so far so good. I honestly don't disagree with anything she just said. I've talked about the same problem myself. Maybe PragerU's turning over a new leaf. Maybe they've recognized the importance of male authority, patriarchy, ready to
It's so funny. This is 2016.
take women's rights away. Maybe the traditionalists are waking up and they're going to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Let's continue.
Here's why. When you try to make men more like women, you don't get less toxic masculinity. You get more. Why? Because bad men don't become good when they stop being men. They become good when they stop being bad. Aggression, violence, and unbridled ambition can't be eliminated from the male psyche. They can only be harnessed. And when they are harnessed, they are tools for good, not for harm. The same masculine traits that bring destruction also defeat tyranny. The traits that foster greed also build economies. The traits that drive men to take foolish risks also drive men to take heroic risks.
Wow. So I'm actually really impressed. I don't disagree with anything that's being said. But I have a feeling that there's a but coming. So let's continue.
The answer to toxic masculinity isn't less masculinity. It's better masculinity. And we know what that looks like. It's a young man opening the door for a girl on their first date. It's a father working long hours to provide for his family. It's a soldier risking his life to defend his country.
Okay, that's the part where I'm going to tell you that's what it was getting at when I was talking about like an unequal exchange of value. There's no way women can match that level of sacrifice.
Okay, so the answer to toxic masculinity is men taking responsibility, right? And I'm fine with that. Look, I've talked about someone has to be responsible. The problem is if you're going to make men responsible for women, for families, for society, there has to be authority attached to that responsibility. This is where the traditionalists really just trip. This is where they just completely screw up. The problem is, in order to have a functional system, and we all agree, men are responsible for women, they are responsible for society, they are responsible for families. That's what a functional society looks like. But you can't then say men and women are equal, take men's authority away, give it to women, say that men and women are partners, but men continue to need to be responsible for women. That doesn't make any sense. You have to have responsibility and authority together, or it doesn't work. So all this talk about good men, good masculinity. Okay, you want men to be responsible. Are you going to give them authority? If you want men to be responsible for women, if you want men to hold open doors, fight in wars, save babies from burning buildings, there has to be something attached to that. Men aren't just selfless, servile robots that just die at your whim because it feels good. If you want them to be responsible, you have to give them authority. You take their authority away, men are going to walk away because there's nothing in it for them. You've taken the carrot away. All you have is the stick. And eventually you keep hitting a dog with a stick, he's going to fucking snap at you.
The growing problem in today's society isn't that men are too masculine. It's that they're not masculine enough. When men embrace their masculinity in a way that is healthy and productive, they are leaders, warriors, and heroes.
Okay, so this is a part that I want to sort of interject something here really quickly now. Up to this point, it's like 100%. Like this is where this comes from, by the way. So I'm the only guy who remembers. I'm the only one left on planet Earth. I feel like Elrond. I was there 3,000 years ago.
Rollo remembers.
I was there. And I'm glad I saved this video when I did. So anyways, the problem that I see right now is now we have the generation, because this is 2016, right? They have this generation of men who've been beaten with the stick. And so they're like, fuck this. I'm not dealing. And so when you have these appeals by traditional conservatives, which we're just seeing this huge influx of right now. And as I said, I predicted this was going to happen. Like whenever we're out of an election cycle, everybody pivots back into intersexual dynamics. They want to talk about how to have a great life and how to have a good marriage and how to be a man and da 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 da. The problem is you get this constantly. And Allie Beth Stuckey was saying this as far back as 2016, which is we need men to be better men, good men. We need good masculinity. So we're going to qualify that. But as she was saying, actually, but not really realizing, but like Turf Lady Monkey saying the same thing. It's that the same masculinity that makes that guy run into the burning building and save the baby out of the burning building is the same masculinity that makes the guy jump and off a building and do a base jump, right? Or do those real dangerous jump videos where they're really high up and they do the rolls and stuff like that, or to bungee jump or do something death defying, right? And they go, oh, here, and you get this meme. It's like, this is why women live longer. Well, yeah, it is, but it's also masculinity. You don't like that. So the thing is toxic masculinity. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's only masculinity and the aspects of it that improve women's lives, that are beneficial, that align with women's imperatives. That masculinity, yay! But if I go, I want to use my masculinity to better my life, and as a result, some other people are going to benefit along with that. As you were saying before, it's like the same masculinity or same impulses that drive greed are also economic drivers as well. Yes, nobody has a problem with that when everybody's benefiting from a guy who took from Elon Musk or somebody who took a chance on creating a business and it fucking worked. Nobody, they'll give him shit for being some rich, greedy industrialist, but they don't look at the fact that he's employing all these other people as a result of that, and they benefit from his risk taking because men are more risk tolerant than women are. That's part of masculinity. So you see little Johnny riding down the street and doing wheelies so Susie will pay attention to him. That seems really foolhardy and stupid. Yeah, but that same masculinity is going to be the same thing that's going to put him into a position of being able to marry Susie later on in life, right? So the thing is the problem is that in a gynocentric social order, and that gynocentrism is very insaturated just as much in the conservative side of things as it is in the liberal side of things. They just come at it from different angles. From the conservative side, we want men to be better men. Why? We want them to be better men for us, not for themselves. Don't use that good masculinity for your own benefit. The Lord wants you to use it for her. And every single fucking time I hear this, whether it's on I forget the dude's name, Owen something or other, these pastors that will come up on these shows and go, well, we need kinder, gentler, we need real biblical masculinity. What is that? Give me the definition of that. Because I will guarantee you it aligns with everything about everything that is toxic masculinity and good masculinity. Good masculinity, again, is anything that aligns with the female imperative. Biblical masculinity, anything that aligns with the female imperative. But if it's something that is self-serving, if it is individual man serving, if you're getting better, if you're becoming the best version of yourself for yourself, that's toxic. But if you're becoming a better version and you have this sort of impetus that's driving you and you're doing it so you can be a better sacrifice, so you can be your burden of performance and your potential is maximized, not for yourself, but to become more approving and more acceptable to women, then that's good masculinity. That's because the context is different. And it wasn't always like this. It wasn't always like this. Prior to the sexual revolution, prior to hormonal birth control, when the intersexual dynamics were much different, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. As I said before, in my new book in Reignite, the book Reignite, I talk about mental point of origin and how it interacts with mindset. And the reason I drop mindset in there is because a bad mindset can be just as much a sedation as pornography or weed or anything else. If your way of your outlook on life is, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and be sedentary because that's what my mindset says. That's just as much a sedation as drugs. And so your mindset has to be something that is geared towards your own benefit. It is enlightened self-interest. I cannot help others until I help myself. I cannot help others as well as when I help myself. That doesn't mean you don't help others. That doesn't mean you're a dick and you just it's all about me, right? No, it is all about you in the beginning. And what happens is if you're that rich industrialist guy who took the chance on that business, now guess what? Because it was all about you, now other people benefit as a result of that. That's why I was bringing up the fact that there will never be a state of equilibrium, a state of equality between men and women, because men are expected to die for women. Where do we find the root of that? In conventional masculinity. That's why that's why you have to, I don't do advice very often. I don't break my protocol. I did in Reignite this, my new book, Reignite. There's, like I said, there's a whole section that's dedicated to this, and it also interacts with your frame. Okay. But the point of it is that mental point of origin is, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? What is the first thing? Is it your wife? Is it your kids? Is it your boss, your whoever is outside of yourself in that cognitive stack? That's your mental point of origin. And if that's not you, then that's the root of your fucking problem. We got to go down to the inception point, like in that movie Inception. It's like, okay, well, we got to get out to the lower layer until you get down to the lowest layer. If you're not at the lowest layer of the inception, you need to be. Because that's what's going to inform your decisions. And you also have to have the confidence and you have to build it, but the confidence to know that the decisions you make are going to be what's best for you. And what's best for you is what's best for other people who are dependent on you. Who is that? It's always going to be women, because there's no such thing as an equal exchange of value. That's how this works. But more to Turtling and Monkey's point and Allie Beth Stuckey still thinks that men are just going to be able to sort of sublimate the side of masculinity, the aggression side, the bad side, the toxic side of masculinity, in favor of the good stuff, right? Well, you got to accept both. You got to take both. You want a guy who can change diapers and slit throats in the same day. That's Justin Waller, by the way. That's the kind of masculinity you want. And if you don't have that, like I said, you want to know why women love bad boys? Is because they'll slit throats, because they have the capacity for violence, or it seems like they do. They will break rules. And if women benefit as a result of that, or they get status, or they get, whatever, that's why those guys are very seductive. That's why men who are on the dark triad personality traits, that's why that's very seductive for them. So let's continue. Oops, wait a minute. Did I get it?
Because there's nothing in it for them. You've taken the carrot away. All you have is the stick. And eventually you keep hitting a dog with a stick, he's gonna fucking snap at you.
The growing problem in today's society isn't that men are too masculine. It's that they're not masculine enough. When men embrace their masculinity in a way that is healthy and productive, they are leaders, warriors, and heroes.
Okay, so I agree with this part, but where's the authority? So this is what's interesting. She admits that men who embrace their masculinity are leaders. Being a leader implies authority, because you're leading people. People are following you. You have authority over the people that you're responsible for. So it's like, this is what I don't get about traditionalists. They know that men have to have authority. They know it. They know it. I know you agree with me. I know in your heart of hearts, you agree with me. The problem is you can't say it because of my elections, my female voters, and all this other crap. But you know it's true. You know men have to have authority over women, over families, and over society. Call it traditional family values, call it the nuclear family, call it whatever the hell you want. It's called patriarchy. Without patriarchy, traditionalism doesn't work.
Right.
Without male authority, male responsibility doesn't work. You have to have both. And
See, I think that's probably what the mistake is today, is women want male leadership. They want servant leaders. The whole reason why we even get this stupid title of, or whatever, this buzz term of servant leaders, is because conservative Christian women, traditionalists, whatever you want to call it, they want male leadership. They want masculinity. They just don't want it in the frame of patriarchy. Because that's the cardinal sin of feminism. So if you start putting it in terms of patriarchy, and by the way, patriarchy is a much more balanced system than feminism, much more balanced than gynocentrism, because patriarchy, as Torque-Floating Monkey is talking about here, patriarchy implies responsibility still. It's not like Well, I think what women are afraid of is what's called androcentrism, right? That would be a society by men for men, okay? And that would be what? 100% authority for men and 0% responsibility. That's when you get Gilead and the freaking Handmaiden's Tale, right? We're going to force these women to have our babies, right? That's 100% authority and 0% responsibility. And that's called tyranny. In an androcentric society, that women would be right. It's oppression. Oh my God. But in patriarchy, it is responsibility with a commensurate amount of authority to affect that responsibility in the first place. So what happens is whenever you hear, even to this day, I'll still hear Christian pastors say this. They'll be like, well, if men would just man up and take more responsibility, then, we'd be out of this mess. We wouldn't have this degeneracy. No, that's why we're in this problem in the first place. Men did take that responsibility. You just didn't give them the authority to enact that. His kids are not his kids. He's going to be paying alimony. He's going to be in a sexless marriage. He's going to be like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I get it. But the thing is you have to look at all of these things that disempower and disenfranchise men and take authority away from men. He has no real power over his family. As I've said before, like, what is it today? Marriage as it stands today, it's for a state marriage, whatever you want to call it. It is like, what is it? It's like building a house on land you will never own. You don't have authority over that. You don't get to make those changes, not without consulting big sister, right? And that's not just about the family. It can also be about your workplace. It can also be about gendered laws. It can be also about the sexual marketplace. There is no authority for men. If you're going to keep saying, oh, men need to have self-control and they need to have responsibility, I'm not going to disagree with you, but you've got to give them the authority to affect that responsibility in the first place. And tradcons will never do that because they fear patriarchy. And patriarchy is a more balanced, natural system. Men are there to protect, provide, and be parentally invested in their offspring, in the women that they're with. But they also have the authority over their family. To the point where it used to be anyways, in the point, like back in the day, prior to the sexual revolution, men were responsible for their kids and for their women if they committed a criminal act, if they ran the business into the ground, if they did something that was against, there were societal stigmas against it. They looked to the man. We do that today. When you see these guys, these kids running around Antifa and stuff like that, and they're burning buildings and overturning cars and everything, what's the first thing we say? Where's the father? Where's dad? How come dad's not here to lay the hammer down? Because you disempowered him, took his authority away, kicked him out of the house, and mom is raising him as a single mother because we've empowered women to think that being a single mom is like being a superhero. Even if it's just the societal perceptions of authority, that's enough. Men don't even pretend to have authority. They're like, well, I'm going to go into this marriage. It's going to be 50-50. Like, imagine going into a marriage and saying, I'm the primary here. And it doesn't matter if I make less money than you, from a Christian perspective, by the way. Yeah. If I make less money than my wife, she still has to respect my authority. And I'm still the one who's driving I make the decisions for the family because I have the dick and she doesn't. And it doesn't matter because the Lord said, I am over the woman. I have authority over the woman. Unless you're willing to accept that, you're not Christian, ladies. You say, well, my man is he's unemployed right now and I'm married to him. He has authority over you. His decisions go. That's how it works. I would never. Okay, well, then you're not getting married. So now you agree with everybody. Now you agree with the red pill. Good for you. All right, here we go.
Admitting this right here by calling men leaders. I agree. Men who take responsibility are leaders. But imagine trying to be a leader without authority. What the hell does that even look like? It's like if you take authority away from parents, they can't raise their kids. Why? Because you require authority to be a leader, to be a parent. When you're put into a position of responsibility, you need authority over that which you are responsible for. It is that simple and fundamental. You simply cannot separate authority from responsibility.
When they deny their masculinity, they run away from responsibilities, leaving destruction and despair in their wake.
Men aren't the ones who stripped their authority away. Feminism did. And who's going to restore it? Nobody's talking. Like, I'm the only one on this hill talking about taking women's rights away and restoring male authority. No one is talking about this. That is the problem. The only answer from the right is that men need to take responsibility. And when men say, well, why should I take responsibility if I don't have authority? They just say, stop being toxic. Stop being a misogynist. Just, you have to take responsibility. It's what men do. Fuck you. Very simple thought experiment. If you own a business, you are the sole proprietor of that business. You will work 60, 80, 100-hour weeks in order to make sure that business succeeds.
Wait, I got to stop this real quick. Pearl Davis, if you're watching, memorize this part right here so you don't fucking shit the bed again and I got to clean up after you. This is what you try to relate a lot of times and you fuck it up completely. So listen to what TFM has to say.
Because it's your business. Now, if you were simply an employee of that business and your boss asked you to work a 60, 80, 100-hour week for no additional pay because you really needed the help, you tell him to go fuck himself. And why? Because it's not your business. You don't own it. You don't have the authority over the business. You don't own the profits of the business. He does. So he can do the long hours. It's his business. So you took authority away from men in the name of gender equality. Now women are on all kinds of antidepressants. The fertility rate is dog shit. The West is being flooded with immigrants from Africa and the Middle East, and they're raping kids and running people over with trucks apiece. What are you going to do about it? Well, come on, man. Can you work these 60, 80, 100-hour weeks? Oh, we could really use the help over here. Well, are you going to give me authority over this business that you want me to help out? Well, no, we're not going to give you authority. That wouldn't be fair. But can you just contribute vastly more?
Hell no. Come on, wait.
Hold on, they're gonna chat me for that. Hold on a second. Let me fast forward that real quick. I always get a freaking copyright strike when I do that. Yeah, there we go.
Responsible. Give up your fucking rights. Submit to the patriarchy. It's that simple. If you're not willing to submit, then fuck you. I'm not going to take care of your dumb ass. You want to be equal? Go be equal. Go take care of your own shit. Oh, you can't? Oh, you need men to take care of you? Well, then submit. Bow down. No? Then fuck you. You see how this works? Are you going to be part of the solution? You're going to be part of the problem. If all you have is shame and bullshit, go fuck yourself.
The consequences can be seen everywhere. 1 in 4 fathers now lives apart from his children. And children who grow up without a dad are generally more depressed than their peers who have a mother and a father. They are at far greater risk for incarceration, teen pregnancy, and poverty. 71% of high school dropouts are fatherless.
That's not the fault of men rejecting their responsibilities. That's 100% the fault of feminism. Who created the family courts? Who created the Duluth model? Irresponsible men rejecting their manly responsibilities? No, fuck that shit. Women did this. Feminism did this. Shaming men into taking responsibility when nothing is being done about the actual cause is absolute bullshit. Look, there's a disease. There's a disease called female empowerment. It is killing the West. It isn't just killing America and in the UK. It's killing Western civilization as a whole. Female empowerment is fucking cancer. Putting the burden of responsibility onto men is complete bullshit. Because once women were given voting rights, they became the majority of voters. Women outlive men. Women don't go to war and die. They work cushy jobs and they don't die on the work site. There's always going to be more women than men in any sort of healthy society. Throw in wars and so forth, then you have vastly more women than men. I can't think of a natural situation where men would outnumber women except the one-child policy in China, where parents deliberately drowned their daughters because they could only have one child, so they wanted a son that would take care of them in old age. Aside from those artificial constraints, there's going to be more women than men in almost any society. Now, once you appreciate that fact, you appreciate the fact that we have universal suffrage in a democratic society, women run the government. So how are men supposed to fix anything? The men's rights activists have been trying to fix the laws for 100 years. They haven't gotten shit changed. Yeah. The laws have only gotten worse. They're getting worse by the year. Every year. Feminists demand more laws that empower women at men's expense. And what does the right do? What is the right doing to stop this? Nothing. Nothing. You're just blaming men, telling them they need to take responsibility. You're not doing anything to actually solve the real problem, which is female empowerment. You can't fix this problem by convincing men to just suck it up and walk proudly into the slaughterhouse.
That's exactly the point I was trying to make. Anyway, he did this better than me. The point I was trying to make about these women who are now blaming men for women voting for Momdi.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, well, if you were nicer, if you were better men, like be better men. How come nobody's telling these guys to be better men? Right? Same thing with like Allie Beth Stuckey when she was talking about like pornography. Men, we need you to be better men, and you're better than porn, and blah blah blah. And men got all up in their fucking feels about like, well, how dare a woman tell me what to do? But the thing is the reason the impetus behind that like sentiment from guys was because like nobody's saying women be better men or be better women for your men. You don't hear that from anyone. No one is saying, women, why don't you fuck your men? Why don't you be a better sexual option than pornography? Now, people say, well, it doesn't matter because guys who are getting sex on the regular with their wives, they're still fucking addicted to pornography. Okay, fine. But what about the 25 or 30% of sexless marriages right now? Are they all as a result of that? I don't think so. I think if women try, God, man, Aaron Clary put out a post and it was pretty much the same thing I was saying. And he did a recent video about this too. It's like Christian women don't want to fuck their husbands, right? They don't want to, stay thin and fuck your husband. That's basically the gist of his tweet and his thing. And they lost their minds over Aaron Clary saying this. And it's simply because for the most part, like especially like traditional conservative Christian women, they don't want to fuck their husbands. For like I keep saying, like Christianity, at least in an evangelical sense, whatever, they produce more beta males than anything else. That's a beta male factory right now because they've been brought up in a feminized church. So telling them to take more responsibility, telling them to clean the dishes, telling them to do chore play, telling them to do all this stuff. And what's the thing is that's not working. What is working? Going to the Manosphere, going to the red pill, listening to me, listening to, God forbid, Andrew Tate, like listening to the guys who are telling you to like fucking, to embrace your toxic masculinity, embrace your natural conventional masculine side or whatever it is, your God-given masculine essence, like embrace that, right? Aggression, violence, that's part of it. You want masculinity? Sorry, ladies, men are innately more violent than women are. That's part of the deal. In fact, you're going to be glad that the guy has a capacity for violence when the fucking shit hits the fan, when there's a life or death situation. Oh, we need men to go off to war. Yeah, well, why are they having war in the first place? Because other men want to take your shit and want to fuck you up, want to take your resources, take your women, take your territory. And who are you going to do? Who's going to be on the wall? Women? No. Men are going to be on that wall. So when we're looking at these things, and we're looking at like, sort of this church of women by women for women, and then you're producing men who are the kinder, softer, gentler, the masculinity is defined by how well they serve women. Guess what? Women don't want to fuck those guys. And when those guys don't get laid, what's the alternative? I proposed this on one other podcast before. I'll do it again. Ladies, if you're not fucking your husband and your husband is going to go and needs to get his fucking physical, sexual needs met, what are you going to tell him? Like, are you going to say, go jerk off the porn? What would you rather he do? Jerk off the porn or go down to the Thai massage place and get a tug job? Like, well, what's better? You should probably say porn, right? Because you don't want some actual girl like actually jerking you off. Right? What's cheating and what's not? Well, the thing is, you put them into that position no matter what. And here's the thing. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you should want to fuck this guy. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't feel like aroused by the guy, but ask yourself, why don't you? And it's not because he's not good with the kids. It's not because he doesn't go to work every day. It's not because he doesn't meet his sort of Christian masculine duties. It's because you just don't want to fuck him. You don't have the desire. You don't have that arousal anymore. If you had it at all, you find ways not to fuck him. Is it any wonder that 68, 70% of Christian men say that they struggle with pornography? Yeah, because it's there and it's available. It doesn't have a fucking headache. It doesn't have to unpick. You don't have to pick the locks. It has to pick locks with you. And women, just like me saying this, I get it, ladies. I understand this is very like rage inducing. I get it. It's rage inducing because you're stuck just as much as he is. You can't explain why you don't want to fuck him. Or if you can, it's usually some horseshit reason. You've convinced yourself, you gaslit your own self to think that there's something wrong with you or something wrong with him. Or we have low libidos or whatever. Or the Lord made us celibate. What, like a Christian marriage to me seems like involuntary celibacy. That's really what it is. Like I didn't sign up for that, but now he's involuntarily celibate because you make him involuntarily celibate. Is it any wonder that Christian men struggle with pornography? I don't think so. I don't think it's a fucking mystery. But then now we got to listen to your bullshit about like, well, if men were better men, then we wouldn't vote this way. No, you're going to vote that way anyways. And 90% of these chicks are being paid by some outside source to make these. How much were you paid by the DNC to make that tweet? You don't have any loyalty to an ideology. You don't have any loyalty to a religion. You know, if it's going to pay you off, you're an influencer, you're going to be just like Destiny. You'll be a sock puppet. And even if you're not, the suspicion that you are is there. Let me continue.
Men are waking up. This is complete bullshit. So either fix the problem or Allahu Akbar, prepare for the collapse. You're going to lose your rights either way. Either Western men are going to take your rights away or Muhammad will. One of them's going to do it.
Of all the rocks upon which we build our lives, family is the most important. And we are called to recognize and honor how critical every father is to that foundation. That was said by then Senator Barack Obama in 2008. If we are honest with ourselves, he went on, we'll admit that too many fathers are missing from too many lives and too many homes. As much as we try to deny the need for real masculine strength in society, there's no denying its necessity. Healthy families and strong communities depend on the leadership and bravery of good men.
Again, leadership. Okay, you want men to be leaders. Great. If you want them to be leaders, you have to follow them. You have to give them authority. You have to submit to them. This is not rocket science.
Yet the
Okay, so I'm gonna let that go right there because that's kind of like the last point I wanted to make here. It's a really good video. I should actually host this. Yeah. I should just put it up on my YouTube. I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from TFM, but I thought this was like one of his best works. But the last part of this is whenever you hear women complain about, well, men need to be leaders, they're servant leaders, right? It's like, well, we'll give you a little bit of leadership and then, but not so much that you get too big ahead and you don't, you step on our little toesies and take away our rights or take away our voting, whatever else. You take away our authority. But we want you to still, that's a servant leader is just saying you need to be responsible with less or little or if any authority. That's all it comes down to. Oh, the chat wants to see if, yeah, I know. You want, the thing is it's not on a video link because, okay, so thanks for that. You won't be able to watch this on YouTube because TFM got like banned from YouTube not too long ago. And this was like back in 2016. I found it on a very old archive, I think on Vimeo or something like that. And I was lucky to find it there. If I can host, I'm going to ask TFM if I can host it and I'll put it up on my channel and then you guys can check it out. But I don't think it's possible to watch it on YouTube. Maybe because they don't want you to watch it on YouTube. But the long and the short of it is whenever like women or even like these, mighty men of God, channels, whenever you talk about leadership, they don't mention that leadership implies a hierarchy. Leadership implies subordinates. Leadership requires that women follow. If you want him to lead in the family, you have to follow. That's how leadership works. It is a hierarchy. It's not family in the round. It's not 50-50 partnership. He's the head. He makes the decisions and you go with those decisions for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, for in sickness and in health until the day you die, for big, whatever, and obey. If you want your man to be a leader in the house, you have to be prepared to be a follower. But most women aren't. They've been brought up from a very early age to believe that men are inherently untrustworthy. And so we can't let dad drive the bus. He'll drive us off a cliff. You can't leave Homer Simpson with, what's the little kid's name? Maggie. You can't leave Homer with Maggie. He'll trade her for a 6-pack and a nudie magazine. You can't trust him to do anything. That's what you're left with. Women don't trust men. Wives don't trust their husbands. I kept saying, like, I love to go doing the parachute thing. Like, if you come home and you pack the parachute and she won't go up and skydive with you, she doesn't trust you with her life. And that's how it works. Anyways, let's break. We're out of time. So, anyways, that's Turd Flinging Monkey. I'll try to host that and get that going. Guys, later on, let's see. I've got Access Vegas coming up on Wednesday. I don't know if we'll special guest Tiffany Fox will be on, and I'm going to actually see if I can get Tiff in here. I'm also kind of working back and forth with this. Her name is Monica Almaguer or something like that. She's like she's kind of on board with the Red Pill thing. She's here in Vegas, and she's kind of trying to be a podcaster, but she's got 100,000 on her podcast, so I can't give her too much grief. But she's actually she's been on with Rich Cooper. I might have her on as well, but she's kind of on board with the fuck your husbands ladies message. So I'm going to have her on as much as I can. If I will have, I know I've got these other ones. When's TFM coming on? I'll have them on as much as if I can get him. This is such a good topic. I really wish you had a cam up or a call-in show. I wish we could do a call-in show. We should probably start looking into
There's
doing
possibly a
something
way
like
to do that through Discord or other avenues.
You could do Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah.
God, it's been up forever. And last, I motivate myself by saying today is tomorrow. No more waiting. Thanks for pulling us down the rabbit hole. You're welcome. That is the red pill for you. All right, guys. So anyways, I'll be back. The new book, Reignite, is up for sale. It's the first link in the description there. Go check that out. Sales are doing like way better than I thought they would be. I am very pleased with Reignite. And then also I've got my Reignite group. If you're interested in that, it is reignitealpha.com. And that is myself and Joe Marone. And then I also still do stuff with MOA too. So Mike Sartain. And also check me out on Substack. My link to Substack is in the description there as well. If you sign up for the meager price of $9.99 per month, you get to read all my good stuff that I write on Substack. And sometimes it makes it into the show, and sometimes it makes it into books. So, and then you are also more than welcome to comment on anything I have to say on Substack too. So do check that out. I'm writing a lot more these days. So that's me. Guys, I will see you next week, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. This is Irrational Male, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
I need to feel you on top of me. It was my first time, but I was just a kid when we met and went to bed. It was my first time. What you expect from me? I'm breaking up the rules now in the game. I've got some new tools. Nobody got time for that. Time came by and went over like a matchbox stereo. My thoughts now, let it go. FBI, open up! But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things be different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? All right. Maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things be different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Yeah, we could have the best in my life.
How dare you?
Now we're fucking in the bathroom, tearing up everywhere while I got your hair. Why you screaming my name?
That's nasty. It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty?
She was swinging in the bedroom, whole time stopping and slurping with her head like she's Claudia Kelly. I'm a whore. Why me? Ride me up and down like a pony. Turning up my song, getting nasty. Working up and down on your body. Why me? Ride me up and down like a pony.
Preceding podcast has been a production of The Rational Male. All rights reserved. 2025 registered trademark. And don't steal that stuff.
I feel like I just took a bath of battery acid. Like, man, Rollo's not getting a hold, man.
Gotcha, bitch.
Goddamn right.
God wants you to have a baby.
Definitely not.